All right. Let's see how that works. But anyways, okay. So, yeah, it's been a long time since we last played, y'all. I'll give you a quick synopsis of all the events since your arrival to Altanova, the capital of Novar, a country in the continent of Keplar, neighboring with the countries Heidi and Valera. 8 weeks ago, you all joined the Hunters Guild for your own reasons. You were first tasked to return a traveling merchant's stolen items from a goblin cave. Then you were tasked to uncover a conspiracy involving a cult of Urgathoa. Then you were asked to deal with a possessed Yeti in the country of Heidi. Recently, you all dealt with a rogue Caligny troop burglaring from within Altanova itself, which inadvertently led to Steve's death for a time. After all that work, you were given a promotion to senior operatives of the Hunters Guild, which elevates your social and legal status and gives you more freedoms within the guild and the country of Novar. With that said, you were given 3 new tasks: stop an undead outbreak, rescue the noble's daughter, and find the hidden treasure in an ancient temple. Now, you all decided to deal with that outbreak first. With the help of a smuggler, Birder, you sailed to the research island in the Akala Sea and defeated all of the undead, saved 2 survivors that were responsible for the mess. Then, as a promise to Birder, you helped him smuggle food and supplies to Bandit's Cove, where you then slaughtered the... All right,
someone's opened their Doritos.
Jesus, like, yes. Fucking Christ. All right. You helped him smuggle food and supplies to Bandit's Cove, where you then slaughtered the Novar's 2nd Precinct naval captain and his company, letting 3 soldiers and all the deckhands live so that they may sail you back to the mainland.
And the 3 deckhands we let live were
Peter,
Brandor, and Smokey? Yes, I'm sorry.
First off, they were the soldiers. There were many more deckhands. But yes,
Okay,
the
bad,
3 soldiers. And then a bunch of deckhands. But anyways, when you all did make it back to Altanova to report your status and get some of your rewards, Worf went to take a nap, while the rest of you decided to do a quick side quest involving a Bright Walker that was a result of your efforts in taking care of the Caligny. Satisfied with your work, you went back to the Hunters Guild to sleep off the night and prepare for your next adventure, finding the kidnapped daughter. Now, who here, I think it's all of you, but who here is at least trained in society or some type of warfare or similar lore?
Is.
Warfare, yes.
Okay.
Society, I am.
Steve?
Society.
Stay the hell away from me.
Is Steve here?
Yes, warfare.
Okay. Then just as a quick recap of the world at large, you know that the countries of Novar and Valera are locked in a cold war of sorts. They have been pretty much stalemated for the last 70 years, with little progress in opening up their borders. The closest most Novarians, like yourselves, are allowed into the country of Valera, and vice versa, is in the middle ground demilitarized zone of a city called Mesai, also known as the Bridge Between Worlds. Novarians who are caught in Valera itself are typically arrested and either deported or in most cases held in Valera for ransom with the Novarian government, so as far as you have been told. With all that said, you all seemed to be in agreement last time we sat together to deal with finding the noble's kidnapped daughter next, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. So
the next one's time urgent one.
Yes.
Okay, so we backpedaled a bit last time. So we actually did not deal with. I decided to cut. Thomas, you weren't there. I decided to cut from when we actually left the Hunters Guild to talk to Augustus and all of that stuff. So we are going to try to properly introduce the quest today. Today is Aristus the 8th. You are all having breakfast together in the Hunter's Guild when Steve pulls out the quest scroll you were given, which stated, "My daughter Jaden Norman has been kidnapped the night of Sereneth the 12th, so about a month ago. I strongly believe this to be a kidnapping because on the day of, there were tensions that arose between my division, the Ministry of Defense, and a Valeran troop that visited to discuss certain peace agreements. However, there was no letter, ransom, etc. left behind in her absence. I offer party who returns my daughter 200 gold piece each, plus a bonus of 100 gold piece for the head or heads of the man or men who stole her. Signed, Augustus Norman, Chancellor of Defense, Novar." Any questions before you all begin?
Yeah, I have a couple.
Yep.
Like, someone else can go first.
I don't have a question, but I just want to say quick to all our fans that we're sorry it's taken us so long to get out another episode. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
Is
Maddie,
anyone here with us right now?
Yeah. There's... Say that again,
Okay.
Peter?
do me a huge favor. The whole recap. Can you please drop that in the Discord so I just have that?
I'll drop it in
Okay.
later. I have it on a different device at the moment.
Okay.
All right.
Alright,
So
no
when
worries.
was this
Oh.
request put in?
1 month ago.
The request was put
The
in.
request was a month ago, or because
So,
you mentioned date in the letter and you said that was a month back.
so the date. So correct. Assuming it was most likely that the notice was put in either a day or two after Sereneth the 12th. You guys received that notice about 4 days after. You received the notice on Sereneth the 16th.
Okay. Should we
Notice
probably...
came in 4 days later.
Yeah, the notice came in 4 days later after the... It's hard to assume anything because you guys haven't done any questioning, but I mean, there are so many reasons why somebody doesn't report someone else missing. Either they're trying to take matters into their own hands or they're using their own resources to try to find this. The Hunters Guild is essentially a private military company of sorts, a mercenary group. And so while they are at the best at dealing with foreign affairs for Novar, they're not the only resource. Chancellors.
They also could have been using the extra time to cover up their own tracks and then
Yes.
hiring us to really clear their name.
I mean, correct. That is definitely a good.
I mean, it
I can
also
hear
probably
Patty
took them,
sweating right now.
it probably took them a while to notice that they weren't there where they're
That's-
supposed to be. And then a while for the message to get from the border all the way back to here. They don't have
And it's
email.
probably like
Wait.
4 days to hide a body.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, Steve, what do you mean it took them a while to notice they were gone?
They went missing when they were on a trip towards there, right?
Incorrect. No. So.
All right, never mind.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
Valerans came, according to the note, Valerans, a troop of Valerans, most likely some type of party, probably within the government of Valera itself, came to Altanova to speak with the Chancellor of Defense. That day, Sereneth the 12th. Then, that night, he believes is when his daughter was kidnapped, because she hadn't been seen since that night.
Okay.
You guys did not receive a posted quest for it until the 16th when you guys came back and accepted the 3 different quests. You had spent
What
the
is
better half.
Augustus's title? Oh, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I was just saying, you guys have spent about 2.5-ish weeks since leaving Altanova to deal with the Oculus-C scenario.
What's Augustus's title again?
He is the Chancellor of Defense.
Chancellor of Defense. And he is a Chancellor. I'm sorry, Maddie. I just want to make sure I'm getting our world map right and everything like that. Of Novar.
Of Novar, yes. Altanova, the country of Novar, Altanova, the capital of the country of Novar.
Got it. And you had said before we got started on this whole thing, just to make sure I'm understanding this correct, that it is still possible for Novarians and Valerians to emigrate across the continent or country. However, sometimes Valerians will capture high-ranking Novarian officers and keep them at I had the name of this city. What's the name of the city? Mahai or whatever it is?
Masai.
Masai?
So you might have written the information down incorrectly. You're at least trained in society, correct?
Correct.
I would need society. So what it is that essentially the borders, Valerians can't cross into Novar, Novarians can't cross into Valera. That much is set in stone. Masai is like a middle ground. It is technically a city of Valera, but it is demilitarized. It's their one zone where Valerans and Novars can communicate, live together, do whatever they need to trade amongst each other without fear of arrest and deportation. But any Novarians who are caught in Valera are typically, as far as you've been told, held for ransom to the Novarian government.
Okay. And this is any citizen, not just a high-ranking officer or like a soldier. Any
Correct.
Citizen.
Yes. I mean, as far as you've been told, as far as like just from your mutterings and hearings throughout your adventures and travels throughout the years, as far as you know, in your mindset, Valerans, any Novarians caught in Valera will likely be held prisoner of this Cold War.
Kidnapped in Valera. Do I know based on my society, when they're kidnapped, are they then brought to Masai as since if it's neutral ground, kind of, is that where
No.
they get brought to like exchange? Oh,
I
okay. Not necessarily.
no, I won't say no. I just want you don't know that. You don't know. That's
know that.
That's unless you're a master in society, you're really not going to know that type of information.
Okay. Fair enough. There's some reason why, boys, Maddie has decided to tell us that information. I am unclear on why. Okay, so to recap, everyone. Augustus, Chancellor of Defense. A month ago, his daughter was kidnapped on Sarin Wraith 12. Notice came in 4 days later. Why are you laughing at me, Thomas?
Because we're doing a recap after a recap.
No, I'm recapping like the information we just heard, everything. I just want to make sure we got this already.
That's fine.
This all happened because troops came. Valerian troops came to see Augustus, and then in Altanova, and then all of a sudden that night he was like, "Where my daughter be?" And she's gone.
Yes, correct.
We're all on the same page on that, then, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so who's giving us this? No, this is just on like the TAC board.
You've already received this quest, this scroll. You received this 2.5 weeks ago when Guildmaster Kron gave you all the 3 scrolls. Steve took them and kept them.
Does the note say on there who's a good person we should get in contact with beyond just like let's just start talking to Augustus or any of the
I think we should check in there and see like if there's been progress since it's been a month.
Well, we took the
Well, we
scroll
can
with
probably
us, so
assume-
nobody else even knew it was a job. Presumably. We took the posting.
Oh shit. Good moves.
You said, Maddie, that we took it 2 weeks ago, so
About 2 weeks ago,
you can
correct.
assume there probably hasn't been any. It wouldn't have been a full month, but 2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah. Took it on the 16th. It is
so
currently
where-
this airs
where
the
do you wanna go
8th,
to?
so 3 weeks, 2.5. Yes, you are. So just to reset the scene, you guys are all currently sitting around a table in the Hunters Guild. It's probably about 9 or 10 in the morning. Business is starting to boom again, and you are capable of going anywhere and everywhere within Altanova to do any type of business, whether it's you want to visit a merchant or you have specifically someone you want to speak with. The whole city is yours to do what you will.
Let's go see Augustus.
Yeah, I feel like that makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we were at his house actually the last time we played, weren't we? When we cut off.
Yes, but as I said in the recap, we did.
back it up.
We backed it up. So we are, whatever we talked about that day is no longer canon. It's been cut from the film and has been.
Could somebody remind me quickly while we're on the way to Augustus? Who is Augustus?
You know, I recap just because it's a good way to process. You gotta throw it in my face, you motherfucker.
I mean, he is a teacher, guys.
Some of us have ADHD, Ryan. So
Yeah, come on, Ryan.
now. Yeah, come on. So, oh yeah, Thomas. Asshole. Thomas, you too.
No, dude, I just had your back this entire time.
You guys all suck. And Dan's the only one who cares about me.
It has been about a minute since we've been in the game, though, so do you mind doing a recap one more time for us, Peter?
Oh my god.
Okay, so we're all mutually heading to Augustus. That's
Okay.
what we're doing, Patty.
And
Where
I bet
is
none of us know
Augustus?
where it's at.
Oh, we're going to his house.
Perfect. Can I get anybody who's trained in society to give me a society check?
I will in a second when I'm back to my computer.
Do you want me to roll it for you?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
+8 if I remember right.
Oh, I can just, I mean, yeah, it'll automatically tell me what you have. Yeah, it is a +8. You're right.
You rolled like shit, dibs on rolling my own dice.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. So Marak knows well enough, at least. And you, Worf, you are at least smart enough to know that at the end of the day, you guys, chancellors, just like everybody else in the city of Altanova, they
It's
are
alphabetical, right?
Well, yes, yes,
It's
they
still for his house.
they definitely would. No, as you know, with Altanova, you have what's typically considered the outer and the inner ward. The outer ward is everything: your merchants, your farmers, your peasants, your hunters, guild members, etc. Whereas the inner ward houses the School of Magic, the academies, the chancellors. Basically, anybody important, high-class society, etc., would live in the inner ward itself. While you or Marak, with his role, wouldn't know exactly where he lives within the inner ward, it's probably a good idea to head to the inner ward at least and start there.
Did the dude not put his information on the posting?
Say that again, Ryan?
Did the guy not put the information how to contact him in the posting?
He just put his name. Signed Augustus
full name,
Norman.
then?
Signed Augustus Norman, Chancellor of Defense, Novar.
Well, surely we just find the Ministry of Defense or whatever it is, and he'll be there.
Why are we trying to
There you
find this guy?
Shut the hell up. Slap the tits off.
This is very
I'm sorry.
this is very unlike Steve behavior.
All right, sorry.
Mozilla Firefox. I'm sorry that my language is accurate.
It's been a couple of weeks. I got to get back in character.
I know.
Let's, I liked Tony's idea. Can't remember what character he is in this one.
Dan.
It's Dan Dan?
You, man.
Hell yeah, I was gonna say Dan Dan, and then I was scared that was an older campaign.
Nope. We got Dan Dan, we got Worf, we got Marak, we got Steve. So
I'm Steve.
yes, you are Steve.
Wait, you're Steve?
Yeah.
Of the clan Steve,
wait,
a
then
very noble lineage.
Who's Augustus?
My God. All right. So everybody, like, we've got 2 hours and 20 minutes left. Let's get on track.
Hey, by the way, Maddie, can I assume we all have full HP since we slept and did all
Nope.
that fun stuff?
No, I
You-
already asked him. He said we don't.
You guys slept one night.
What?
You guys have slept
All right,
one
fine,
night.
Fine, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Marak, as we are walking, then is going to be healing all these motherfuckers.
Okay.
So we're walking and he's healing.
There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and.
I'll
I'm
let
gonna
you.
I'm gonna leave Dandan for last.
Brock,
Sorry,
just
go ahead.
you do that quietly.
Type it in.
Thank you. So, just because it's yes. So, as you guys are walking through the streets of Altanova from the Hunters Guild, sure enough, can't miss it. Inner Ward, giant, towering cathedral-like structure in the middle of the city. Marak is busy, kind of patching you all up one at a time. And after about 30 minutes have passed, you guys have met. You guys have reached the gate to the inner ward, where 2 guards are standing posted. Now, these guards, right off the rip, you know, definitely aren't your typical Altanova guards or even Novarian guards in general. They definitely are wearing some very high class, very well manufactured armor, very well dressed. Definitely something of a stature that not even you guys could emulate, at least yet. But you approach these 2 guards, you approach the gates, and these 2 guards stop and approach you. Halt! What business do you have in the inner ward?
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Steve. We're all from the Hunters Guild. We are we're looking for Augustus. We're investigating something for him. Is he here?
Do you have identification?
I got we have
Badge.
like guild badges. Yeah,
Let's see them all, please.
Show him the badge.
I'm whipping out.
Sure. So one of the guards just grabs them and all kind of looks at them, and he goes, "Oh, senior operatives. Okay. Regular members of the Hunters Guild are actually not welcome in the inner ward of the city, but senior operatives have been granted a higher order. You may enter." The guards walk to the double iron gates, and both of them open it and allow you entrance into the inner ward.
Hey, have a great day, guys. Thanks a lot.
Wait, before we go, could you kindly point us in the direction of Augustus's office or presumed working area?
Well, what I can tell you is we do believe he is up on about the 4th or 5th floor. But if you head on inside, you will find a lift. It'll take you to where you need to go.
Thank you.
Good luck. So, you guys, you walk into the inner ward, and as you pass the gates, you walk into a large atrium of the inner ward with many nobles and mages and high-class society citizens walking about their business. Your appearance a clear, sharp contrast to the wealthy stature. The inner ward is unlike anywhere you have ever visited. The mages of the city freely express their art and magic and architecture inside this place, making it far more fantastical than anything you have ever witnessed. You see many doorways and hallways leading on, stairways, and a lift in the middle that seems to send people up far and away. And sure enough, as you guys are approaching, and some of the nobles and higher citizens, higher class citizens, and even some of the scholars who walk past you kind of do that little...
I'm sorry, I was healing. Did the guard point us in the direction of
You said 4th or 5th floor.
You
We have a
said...
starting spot.
Is there like a front desk or something?
There is not, actually. What you have before you is just a giant magical fountain, and behind that is I hesitate to call it a lift because you guys actually wouldn't have seen anything like it before in your standard travels. So they called it a lift. But what you see is this giant tube that stretches from the ground floor going all the way up sky high to the tip top of the towers, with many exits along the way, doorways that seem to lead to different floors up and up.
So there's no like reception desk. Are there guards here?
there are plenty of people walking about. Some of them in roll a perception check, actually, just to see how well you can identify.
You okay over there, Marak? Ouch.
He hurt himself to heal himself.
Gotta mean it.
Yeah, you do gotta mean it. So, Steve, you're kind of looking around, and you're in so much awe of this place, but that you really can't zone in or pick anyone out in particular that you might want to stop and talk to. But Dan, as you're kind of doing the same thing, you're not fazed by any of the magic or any of the fantastical imagery. In fact, it's just another day on the job for you. And right off the bat, you can tell the difference clearly between the different types of members of this society. While a lot of nobles and just high-class society members are wearing different robes and garments, there are quite a few different people who seem to be some type of employees of the different ministries within the government. So it's very easy to pick out a couple of people you might want to approach and talk to.
Sure, we'll find one that seems to belong to some kind of warlike sector and go bother him.
So yeah, right away, Dan, you see somebody not 20 feet away from you that you could easily walk up to and talk to. A nice young elven man.
You there, presumed old thing.
Oh,
do you know where the
yes?
Minister of Defense is?
Excuse me, sir. You're... Oh, Lord. Give me a diplomacy check, Dan. The elf man you approach is immediately turned away from your appearance and your smells, and even with that, as you're trying to just be kind and cordial to him, he's just clearly waving his hand in front of his face. And yes, it is Ryan. Anyways, it's clearly waving his hand in front of his face, and he is just not. Please stand back at least 10 feet from me.
Well, the faster you answer my question, the further away I can be from you. So I'll step in a little closer. Do you know the man?
Intimidation check, please. You do have 3 hero points for the session if you want to use one.
Nah, I'm not too worried about him.
Okay. As you step in closer, he immediately turns tail and just starts walking off, and as quickly and as just as quickly as possible, I guess.
Maddie, was I within earshot until I should say this? I saw that he was talking to who Dan was talking to. Do I see all of us going down?
Yeah, all three of you. The 3 others of you definitely see this man. Just Dan trying to approach him and ask him cordially, just some assistance, and the guy is just immediately dissuaded by the scent and sight of all 4 of you.
Do you guys think this is our guy?
That's a good one.
Didn't Dan just find a random ass dude?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back up to this guy, and I have my feather fan out, and I'm trying to brush it, I'm trying to act all super fancy.
Yep.
Go up to this guy and just go, I am so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir.
Thank you for putting your bake back on.
My bodyguard. He's not trained the best in mannerisms with high society. Would you mind so generously pointing us to the correct defense? Wait. Hold on. Wait. The Chancellor of Defense, Sir Augustus. I know you would probably know who it is.
Either I was gonna say either you give me. If you, I was gonna say you have the option of.
Can I do deception?
You have the stop, please. You have the option to use diplomacy or deception at this point.
Nope. Deception it be then, and this is
Deception was
against
preferred,
my
yes.
Hunted prey.
Yeah,
This
no,
is against my hunted prey.
Oh, okay.
Because I did say.
Prey, Dan's old man.
Yep, that's fine. Just go.
Dan's old man. Motherfucker, that's what I'm talking
Okay,
about.
perfect. Then good. So yeah, so you kind of ruffle a little feather fan at you. You spin your little feather bolo a little bit that you're wearing, and the noble kind of stops in his tracks and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just not used to seeing such company. But if it's the Ministry of Defense you're looking for, the minister himself should be on the 5th floor."
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. I will make sure to, keep a tighter leash on that one. Thank you.
Yes,
Ask him
please
how,
do.
Ask him how we get up there. I don't see any stairs. Wait, do we see? We don't see stairs, right?
You don't see, you see stairs, they go into different directions. It's hard to say. It would take you a little while to navigate through the inner ward.
It's okay. That's when Marak just looks at you guys. And he grabs all of you close in his wings, and he goes, "That's okay, y'all. That's why we fly." And I look at you guys and huddle close, and I close my eyes and face up, and I realize, damn it, not till level 9. Never mind. Let's find the stairs, guys. Level 9, I can do that.
Everybody roll
You can
perception.
fly carrying 3 full-size people.
No, not even close. Not even close. I can fly by myself at level 9. but-
Everybody roll
If you-
perception, please.
Rolling
roll
perception.
perception
As
or for
initiative or
initiative?
just for
Nope,
shits and
no,
giggles?
just perception. Okay, I just need Marox. There it is. Okay. So as you guys are kind of huddled together, kind of talking, everybody except Steve, you see several people walking into this large cylinder in the middle of the atrium, and it is just shooting them up as if supported by some type of magical platform. They're going up, they're coming down, people are walking in and out of this magical cylinder in the middle of the atrium. You don't know exactly how, but you do see it.
If I see it, I'm walking directly into it. And then before I step in, I'm just going to say, number 4.
Didn't they say he's on the 5th?
It was number 5.
Yeah.
I thought you said 4. I thought you said 4 or 7. Did I make that up?
I heard 4 or 5.
The guy
The
on
guard-
the
See what
outside, but
happens
the guy
I swear I heard it
inside
4.
said 5.
So the
The guy
guard,
inside said 5.
yeah,
I
they're,
say
outside
number
said
5,
4
and
or
I
5.
step in.
so
No, I think he needs to keep number 4.
no, I will.
He just goes to level 4.
No. So you walk into the magical cylinder wharf, and you immediately just kind of look up and number 4, and nothing happens. However,
Sorry,
you do see when you step into this magical cylinder, you do see some type of tablet, a display, a screen of some type that is beyond your wildest imaginations, that is numbered with several different buttons ranging anywhere from 1 to 27.
Is it on 4? Because I don't know which one to press.
I'm gonna press 5.
So, Steve, you walk into the magical cylinder right after Worf. Dan,
Once
Maroc.
everybody's in here, I'm gonna press 5.
Oh, okay.
I look over at Dan. What do you think? Should we go in there?
Giant tube
good.
of Maleficara magic. I do not like this thing.
Dan, what will you do instead?
Tell you what. Bird person, help me with this one. We walk in together. I hold on to you. You hit the button.
Oh, okay. I take Dan's hand in my feathered hand, and then I look over at Steve. Dan wants me to press the button, and I go to press it. Number 5. Boop.
Sure enough, an invisible force of some kind suddenly lifts you all up and takes you straight up to a different level, presumably floor level 5. When you step out, sure enough, there are different signs and postages. It looks like a bunch of different different departments of ministries throughout this floor. And luckily, without having to look around too hard, you are able to see right off the bat Department of Defense.
Fantastical device that has invisible creatures lift you up like that.
I'll head into the Department of Defense.
The rest of you, what would you like to do?
I'm following.
Okay. The rest of you?
Following in.
Perfect. Yeah, so you guys walk in to this department, and it kind of breaks down into a long hallway. But luckily, right up front is a receptionist, desk and everything. Several people are inside, several soldiers and guards, many nobles and businessmen alike. But the receptionist is a nice elven woman, and she looks up and, welcome to the Department of Defense.
Hi, my name's Steve. Me and my associates are here. We're all with the Hunters Guild. We're working a job that was posted by Augustus Norman. We were looking to talk with him, if that'd be possible.
Augustus Norman, let me see if he's available. One moment. You see her pull out a journal of sorts and is flipping through a page until she gets to what you would presume to be is Augustus's schedule. She goes, it looks like he is available in his office. If you would like to follow me, I can take you right down to him.
Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
She leads you guys down a series of, not a series. She leads you down a hallway which has a series of doors that break off into different, you would assume, offices or whatever. And she actually goes all the way to the far end itself, where there's a set of double doors, and she stops and goes, this is Augustus's, not only his office, but his own home. I'll leave you here. You may do whatever you will or need. Have a great day.
His home?
His home. His office and his home. She leaves you in front of the set of double doors, in front of what she has called his home and office.
I will.
So we're not actually in the
knock
house, though.
door.
Yeah.
You're gonna knock. Okay, fair enough. So you knock, and you don't hear anything for a little while. About 2 minutes later, you finally see the door open. You kind of look forward, and you don't see anybody opening the door until you look down, and you see a small gnomish woman open the door. Can I help you?
Hi, here to speak with Augustus Norman.
Oh, yes,
I'm Steve with the Adventurers Guild.
The Adventures Guild?
Hunters Guild? Hunters Guild?
The small gnomish woman lets you in. Yes, I'm just his servant. He'll be right down in just a moment. Please have a seat. And you
Thanks
guys,
so much.
you guys walk into a large common room, and the gnomish woman heads off the way to go and grab. You assume is to go and grab Augustus Norman. Sure enough, it's adorned with all of his different decorations, plenty of flags, some roaring fires, the smell of food and ale. It is a very comfortable commonplace. You guys wait for about 5 minutes when finally an older man, a frail, aging man wearing beautiful robes approaches. He goes, Good afternoon. I am Augustus Norman. I see you are here to speak with me.
Hi, I'm Steve. Me and my associates here are with the Hunters Guild. We're looking into your daughter's disappearance. We just wanted to meet with you quick, make sure we have all the information available, so we can try to get this resolved as quickly as possible.
Oh, well, of course. Yes, Sorry, I'm a little out of my headspace as of late. You see, my beautiful daughter, Jaden, was taken from me not 3 weeks ago on Serenith the 12th. And I fear it might be a kidnapping. In fact, I am almost very positive it is a kidnapping.
And you believe she was kidnapped from here? From your home here? Or was
Yes.
she out and about when it happened?
It's hard for me to say. I can tell you, I did bid her good night that night after the sun had set, and I closed her door and I went to sleep in my chambers. When I woke the next day, the servant told me that Jaden had been out already, which is highly unusual for her. You see, for the last month before her kidnapping, Jaden had actually been locked away in her chambers, not coming out even to eat. And so for her to be suddenly missing from her chambers, it struck me as odd, but I sent
The
my...
servant,
Oh, sorry?
sorry, the servant saw her leave, or the servant who just went to check and she was gone?
Correct. Yes, my servant looked for her to check in, to give her breakfast, and tend to her needs when she noticed that Jaden was missing, and she told me this information. At the time, I didn't think much of it, except for the fact it seemed a little unusual, but I sent my feelers out into the streets of Altanova, and they reported me that they couldn't find her, so I waited until that evening, and I still didn't see her, or hear from her, or have any sign of her. So I grew a little worried, and I sent some of my men back out, further out of Altanova, reaching a few miles west, east, and north of Altanova. And still, they came back with no news of her. At that point, I decided I needed to take this to somebody who I know has no troubles dealing with foreign affairs. And I spoke with Guildmaster Kron himself, gave him this quest.
Can we take a look in your daughter's room?
But of course. Please.
First, can I ask what your relationship with your daughter was like?
Oh, well, you see, she's about 22 years old, and from the time she could remember to just a month before her disappearance, we had a very close and healthy relationship. Her mother passed when she was still a child, and so it was just her and myself. She used to be a very boisterous and vibrant woman out in the streets, until just recently. And so, but she'd always loved her father. We'd never had any quarrels or quabbles or anything of the nature. I love my daughter.
What did she do?
And at this point, he chuckles a little bit. He goes, "My daughter doesn't work. I'm sorry, she's not even a capable cook. I fear that she might be living by servants' hands for the rest of her life, which she should find more than able to with my finances."
I'm sure that's a very fulfilling life for her. I don't see any reason that she might have left.
Sorry.
Maybe we should, Your Highness, or Augustus, what's the good title we should be giving you? I'm sorry.
You can...
Is it Sir Augustus?
Chancellor Augustus, or you know what, friends?
Oh,
Friends, you can simply call me Augustus. You are dealing with
When he
something
says
of a...
friend, Steve gets like the biggest smile that anybody has ever seen.
I love it.
As soon as he does say friends, Marak just goes, Chancellor Augustus, it is that. Okay. So, is it okay then if we interview your staff? Is it okay? Just in case there was something they saw or heard?
Oh, but of course. It is just my servant here. Give me a moment. And he turns into...
The gnome woman?
Yes.
Okay.
My servant is the only one who ever stays around here. Give me a moment.
I'm gonna go up to Worf and Dan, and I'm gonna go, hey boys, why don't you guys interview the gnome woman? She might maybe open up more to you guys. I don't know. And I'll go with Steve, and we'll go check out the room and all that stuff. Maybe I can see something with my eyeballs or something like that.
And then I just kind of... Go ahead.
Do you think Who has more social skills? So I feel like Steve should come with if we're doing the talking.
Well, that's a good point. You're right. I will go
as social as Dan.
You're getting me. I'm great at making friends.
Slamming your hammer on the fucking ground as you say that too. I'm good at making friends. But no.
I'll go check out the room. Go ahead.
Oh, all I was gonna say is, so Augustus, you just hear him turn to the hallway at large and, Clary, dear, please come here. And the gnomish woman starts walking up.
Oh, is Augustus like staying right in front of us?
Currently, yes, he's still standing there.
Augustus, Marak is gonna try and put on as much airs, Matty Patty, as he possibly can. God damn, why am I rolling diplomacy on this? I'm gonna try it anyway. And no, I gotta lie to this motherfucker. Go to my strengths. What can Marak say? Augustus, Chancellor.
Yes.
It might be awkward for
Chancellor, dude, would you mind showing Marak and whoever's going with him to the room while I interview
what?
this person here?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry, Elf. Your name is?
I'm Steve.
Steve. I'm sorry. I immediately forgot your name, and
Okay, hold on. Is that enough for me to actually understand? Peter understands what Ryan is doing, but I don't know if Marak understands. Do I need to roll something, Maddie, to understand what Steve is trying to do from Marak?
Here, I'll tell you this. I don't even know what Steve is trying to do.
I understand what Steve is trying to do.
Marak was about to, I think, just be like, "Hey, can you leave so we can talk to the person?"
Yes.
And because we think that she's gonna say something different if you're there.
Oh, I see.
No, that's a good point, Steve. I knew exactly. Okay, so if is that okay? Do you want me to roll perception to like?
No, that's passive perception. At that point, you could clearly tell like Steve is just fumbling his words as he's trying to express. Yes, the
so
separation.
I look over at Augustus and I just go, Augustus, I get so turned around in all of these places. Can you just kind of show me? And I'd love to talk with you a little bit about some of the paintings and all of these amazing
Rock's trying to get fucked.
I would definitely need a deception.
Fuck yeah.
And it's going to be a higher DC. And yes, I did see that you hunted prey.
Yeah, I did.
Also, Steve, just as an FYI, you guys do have three hero points to use. So, Steve, if you want to use a hero point, I can backpedal this a little bit.
No way, I like this, but no, that's fine. Go ahead, Steve. I got 21. I'm assuming that's probably not gonna.
So it's better, but let me see his perception. Yeah, you're definitely no. So Augustus looks visibly affronted by both of you, actually, and he's like, I have a read in the air that you seem to want to question my servant alone. So you know what?
I'm hero pointing that. Then I'm hero pointing that. I don't want him to actually think that, Maddie.
Okay, then try again.
I'm gonna try again. Hold on a second. I'm gonna roll my deception here. Watch, it's gonna be even worse.
So he looks visibly affronted from Steve, but when you're talking about the paintings, and Stashi's like, oh, well, yes, if you do have some more questions for me, I can show you to my gallery, and this young elf man, Steve, can speak with the gnomish woman. Please, Clary, please, come this way with we, Marak.
the first time in the
of
campaign that
course.
Maroc has made a better impression on an NPC than Steve has.
Of course, I'd love to. I'd love to, Sir Augustus. I just, let's let them go ahead and figure it out. They can talk, and you can show me the beautiful things. Just get your mind off things.
Okay.
This is probably pretty hard on you. I'm sorry. And I'm just gonna keep like buttering this motherfucker up here as they talk to.
Yeah, and sure enough, yeah, he immediately starts walking with you and is like, oh, thank you, as you both leave the common room and head off into a door on the other end of the room towards a giant large gallery. And sure enough, it's as you expect for a noble's home to have, just large series of paintings, bookshelves with a lot of different books of different cultures and statues, etc., etc. Meanwhile, Steve, Worf, and Dan, you're standing there still in the common room when Clary, the gnomish woman, walks up to you and, did Ceres want to speak with me?
Actually, we were hoping to speak with you just a little bit to try to get a little more information about the disappearance. Just to make, we want to talk to everybody so we can get all the facts that we can get. Is that right with you, Clary?
Yes, I'll do my best. I do miss Maiden Jaden so much. I did not mean for that to rhyme. Continue.
I love it.
Could you just run us through the events as you remember, and I'll come in with questions if anything comes up, but you could just take us from the last time you saw her until you realized she was gone.
Well, so Jaden she used to be very much of a busybody, until just recently I noticed her a lot, just locked in her rooms, every night and day. And when I would come and check in on her, I'd see her writing a lot of poetry and looking out of the window wistfully. The night that she was kidnapped, well, I expected to see her in her quarters again, and sure enough, she was there. And well, the strangest thing, you see, it almost, she wasn't wearing her normal gowns. I'm not sure how the women out in the outer ward normally dress, but in the inner ward, women are typically dressed in big, beautiful, flowing dresses. But she was in pants. It looked very strange. So, but she took her. Oh, sorry.
This was the night before the last night you saw her.
Oh, the last night, the night before I last saw her, just as normal.
Okay, but you saw her in pants. The last time that you saw her, she was wearing pants.
Yeah, she was in her pants. She was in some kind of pants, and I almost thought she might be getting ready to leave somewhere, and I thought maybe she left on her own accord, but that would be so unlike her.
Was there any sign of a struggle in the room?
In fact, a little bit, I will say. It looked like the room had been turned over a little bit. And the weirdest thing was, it looked like a lot of her clothes were missing, but not her jewelry.
All right. And how did she get along with her father?
Oh, well, and I think that's what's hurting my poor Mr. Norman so much is, for the longest time they were the closest of friends, as close as any father or daughter could be. But lately she's just locked away and kept herself so sheltered. I thought maybe he had been mad with her for some reason, but she always told me she loved her father very much.
All right. Can you take us and
wait? Do you have?
Does
she have any? Do you have any of the poetry or no?
Oh, well, we would have to go to a room. I don't know if Sir Norman or Sir Augustus would be okay with that.
Our other party is already in there. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
go join them.
Please give me a deception roll.
Oh, I
Isn't that
thought-
true?
isn't that where
No,
you went?
Augustus and Marak went to the gallery on the other side of the house.
Oh, well, that's genuinely
Well,
what my
no, I
character thought
did
they
say-
were
no.
doing.
Oh, I thought that too.
Oh.
No, I thought that. I'm sorry. I thought I said that while we were going to her room, he can show me the gallery and all.
Well,
the
he,
things.
the way you said your words to Augustus Norman, he took you to the gallery. So
Well, if
he
I
is.
believe what I'm saying.
Then give me a
deception.
diplomacy check.
Oh, it's the same shit.
Yeah, either way, it's still a social check. At the end of the day, she is. You're not necessarily. Well, you're fine. You go. You say your piece, and she goes, "Oh, well, okay, then yeah, please follow me this way." And she starts kind of trotting off and down the other end of the house from where
I'm going
Augustus
Towards
and Marak.
and
Correct.
Okay.
I'm
So
going.
as you guys
to,
are walking by, you're hearing Marak just say things like, "So, is most of the men in your family bald?
I'm
Do they all get bald around the same age? Like, how does that work? I don't know much about humans. Birds, we don't really go bald. We actually get our feathers back. Is that normal?"
I'm going.
Anyway,
Yes. Sorry.
I'm going to while we're walking, in a whisper so that she can't hear. I'm gonna say to Worf and Dan, be like, "This chick definitely left to be with somebody, right, guys? I'm not crazy."
Oh yeah, this is obvious.
Okay.
I was thinking either that or to escape the dad and like actually have a life for her own.
It'll be confusing to want to live for a man who defends the country with such a frail body.
So, Clary, the gnomish servant, does lead you guys down a hallway, and it seems to split to an east wing or west wing, and she takes you down the east wing, and sure enough, gets right outside the noble's chambers, noble's daughter's chambers, Jaden's, and yeah, it's just right through here, and she opens the door. Sure enough, it's as you would expect. The bedding is floral, pink, and definitely dressed as if a princess lives there. Most of the stuffs, as far as what Clary was saying, as far as it looking like the room had been searched through, everything seems to be back and intact. Everything looks normal. But if you want to roll any type of perception check, or if you have anything you want to investigate closer,
Yeah, are there like drawers or something, like a desk?
there's an armoire on one side. There seems to be another door that leads onwards, possibly to some type of privy or closet. There's a desk there's a desk with a mirror and a vanity desk. Worf
I'm
and
definitely looking
Steve.
for poetry.
Worf and
Yeah.
Steve, you guys kind of go through this room. Dan, you're
Fucking just rip it apart, Steve.
Dan.
Shred this room.
Dan, you're kind of looking into this room, and yeah, it's some princess daughter's room, okay, or princess's room. It's, what are you expecting to find of interest to you? But Steve and Worf,
Looking for documents of any kind, I guess.
so Worf, we'll start with Worf, because you got the normal success.
Wait, start with Steve because I have to pee.
Okay, well, Steve, Steve, with your critical success, you start going through this room. And sure enough, you do note that it seems like many clothes are missing, but a lot of the jewelry is as Clary had said. The jewelry is still there, a lot of different pieces. One piece you picked up is a jade ornament. And you pick it up and you look at it, and on the bottom of it has some type of scribbles or markings that are in a language unknown to you. But it seems to be of some type of importance, because it's the only thing in the room that is so well polished and kept clean, unlike everything else that seems to be handled with hands constantly.
I don't recognize the language you said.
You do not recognize the language. And then Worf and Steve, you both do also find, yes, it looks like a series of different poetry. I was actually going to consider writing some poetry, but I foregoed that immediately as soon as I got like 2 rhymes out. I was like, fuck this. You guys don't need to care. So you do
just
find...
chat GPT it next time.
No. I already AI'd one of the sceneries, and I really hated it. But anyways...
Oh, well.
Continuing on. So, Steve and Worf, you both do find, sure enough, as you're looking through this room, you do find some leftover writings and poetry, and it looks like drafts almost. She starts writing some words, and it talks of longing for her love, and she's longing for her love and forbidden love and themes like that, but she's crossing them out and rewriting them so they look more pretty. And
I'm gonna look at Steve and say, what could this mean?
Can I show the? I'm gonna show the piece of jewelry. Was it an amulet you said, or what was it?
Yeah, it's a jade, like an ornament with a jade gemstone inlaid on it.
I'm gonna show it to the other guys and also to what's her name?
Clary.
And ask them if any of them recognize the language that.
Worf and
not necessarily understand what it says, but if they.
Worf and Dan, I can tell you both right off the bat, you guys would not recognize this language either. That's actually not true. Dan, you have warfare lore, don't you? Go ahead and give me. Oh, Steve and Dan, both of you give me a warfare lore check.
Is this written text?
You'll find out.
Oh, you can't read, can you?
Oh, can you not read? Well, don't worry. Just roll me a warfare lore, please. You might not be able to read, but you can. It doesn't matter. Neither of you got it. Dan, you're kind of the closest. You look at it and it digs and picks somewhere in the back of your brain, but you just can't place what these markings could mean. But when you guys both present this to Clary, and she grabs it and takes it, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, this was a gift that Jaden got about 3 weeks ago, and she absolutely treasured it. She loved it so much. Augustus gave it to her, but I don't know where he got it from." She hands the jade ornament back to you, Steve.
Do you recognize the language that's written on here?
She looks, as you show her the jade ornament again, no, I'm so sorry. If that's Dwarvish or Orcish or anything else, I'm so sorry. I only speak Novarian and Gnomish.
Does Kelly have any suitors?
I'm sorry, Worf, what did you ask?
Does Kelly have any suitors? Anyone that comes by? Any boyfriends?
Okay, so you mean Jaden, okay.
I figured if I said a name confidently enough, you'd reply.
She kind of looks at you. Kelly, did you mean Miss Jaden? Oh,
Yes.
Not that I have been aware of. She's never had any men over before. And I don't think Augustus would like that very much. He's very protective of her.
Yeah. Would Jaden, I almost said Kelly again, almost tricked myself. Does she go anywhere that she would maybe meet someone?
No, sirs.
It doesn't work. She just stays in a room.
For the last month or so before her kidnapping, she just always stayed in her room. Sorry.
Why do you assume a kidnapping?
That's what Sir Augustus told me. That's what it has to be, right? It's so unlike Jaden to just suddenly disappear without a note.
Wait a second, just to check really quick. We're in a giant government building or something, right?
Correct.
But they also
It's
live
in the inner ward, so it's like a castle. Think of it that way. Essentially, the employees and the scholars and all these people live in this giant tower.
Okay, so in his living area, is there any way to access it from the outside, like windows or anything, or is he inside the building? The only way out through his front door.
He has, even the princess's, I keep calling her a princess, but the noble's daughter's room itself, there are windows all around. This is definitely situated to get the most north view of the country, so that obviously you wouldn't know Dan, but the rest of you can have enough intelligence that obviously they would want the northmost room to see the sunrise and sunset and get the most beautiful view. Dan, you just note that there are windows.
Maddie,
Okay. So he could
can I
have come in through a window.
see in the room any any sign of anyone breaking in or getting leaving the room?
Yeah,
I don't know if I have any tracking or anything that I could see any disruption.
I would say you could give me a survival or perception, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, let me see which one I prefer.
Probably perception, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting here thinking maybe Marat can try and get some information out of this guy. I'm not even trained in diplomacy.
So you are shooting the breeze with Augustus. That's all you really are capable of. A Worf, you do see windows that easily open and close. Although when you go and open a window, you actually have to latch it or unlatch it, I'm sorry, in order to open it. So the windows, at least as they currently stand, are closed and are latched closed.
No, did you close the windows at all ever since she went missing?
Now that you mention it, and no, the windows were all closed. We always close the windows at night. It gets very cold in the evenings.
None of them are broken, and we assume you can't open them from the outside.
Correct, yes. And I mean, we are many, many feet above the ground. It's very high.
Is there any time that she would have been left alone here?
Well, the family is always left alone after hours. I let them.
Not just. I mean, just her.
I mean, Augustus. I mean, he is a working man. I'm sure he is definitely gone most of the day, but he's always home by evening for his supper.
All right, should we rope him into this conversation, you think?
Well, hold on. Can I start?
Even
asking
Dan?
Augustus?
Yes, well,
yeah, maybe we
don't worry,
teleport
Marak.
over there, and then I think, at least for me, my next step would be bringing him into the conversation.
Okay. We'll get to you guys. So we're going to stop right there then, and then I'm going to transfer back over to Marak. Marak and Augustus, you guys have been just shooting the breeze, talking about, as you said, you're like, oh, how do humans, and whatever. But you have the floor.
Okay. So, Maddie, what is his... I can't remember what's his attitude towards me. Is he friendly, indifferent, helpful?
He seems.
I'm assuming he's not. Obviously, he's not.
He's not hostile. He's not unfriendly. He seems to be friendly currently.
He's friendly.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying I have the ability to do a request action?
Of course.
Right? Like I could. Yes. Okay. I can't do deception because I need a feat for that. Okay. Augustus, since I'm looking at you and you're like, you're great. Your father over there, who can I just say, your jawline, so much better than your father's, and your hair. Wow, I was expecting that you would be going bald. Not even a little bit. I don't know what you've been doing. You look fantastic.
He kind of looks over at you and with a friendly smile and is like, I bathe properly. He says it in a way that's not clearly a snide comment at your dirty feathers, but he's still happy. He's still friendly.
Does not have dirty feathers. Barack bathes. He regularly molts and stuff like that. So no. He's not.
Oh, okay.
He probably
But he is.
Have
I will say, so while you might bathe regularly, you are still an adventurer. You are still sweaty. He only really said that as like an aside because yes, compared apples to apples, he is a delicious Fiji apple and you are a tart Granny Smith.
He's looking at Rock looks at him and goes, So what do you end up? What would you and Jaden, kind of just do? Like just kind of like be around each other after you were done with work, of course, and all that. What would you guys do together?
Oh,
Like fun.
oh, activities that we would engage in. I mean, there aren't many that we would necessarily engage with. She would always love to talk about my day's events, or we would catch up on the different books we might be reading together, or I'd be catching up on her days. But for the most part, I wouldn't say there are necessarily any activities we would generally get involved with together. I mean, we still enjoyed each other's company. She's my daughter, after all.
What about Jaden? Like, what was the things that she would do? Like, was she ever in like? I mean, she is like a noble woman.
Yes.
Your daughter. So, like, did she do like fencing, or was she into like climbing, or like, what were some of those things that she was trying to get trained in on?
Oh, she loved music. I will say she always enjoyed going and listening to the different bards around the inner ward, and she would always love to dance as well. And yes, she enjoyed theater as well. Actually that's something we might do.
Even though, Augustus, they do seem a little rough around the edges and a little smelly, they love dancing. Where were some of Jaden's favorite spots she would go dancing at?
Oh, in XYZ, Peter. Like, I'm not gonna fucking pull out of my ass where a dance.
I'm sorry, Maddie, I'm not trying to like make you do that.
What information are you trying to gather?
I'm trying to like follow their lead on this whole like maybe she's running away, maybe there's some more to this than that, and maybe.
Well, yeah. So she would go dancing at the Prancing Pony, or at whatever, etc. She'd go, and she would never venture further than the inner ward. I would almost rarely ever expect to see her in the outer ward.
So did you like go with her? Or was this like, did she have some like, girlfriend she would go hang out with?
She had plenty of friends. Plenty of friends.
Can I tell if he's lying to me or not?
I could tell you if I will not tell you whether he's lying or not, actually. You can roll perception to sense motive is all I can give you.
And this is my hunted
Perception,
target.
Yes.
I cannot see 23.
Actually, no, you made it. So, yes, you can tell he is telling you the truth.
Okay. So it seems like she had friends. She would go out there. Okay.
So to kind of speed things up, Marak, at this point, Worf, Steve, Dan, and Clary all come and walk into the gallery where the two of you are talking.
Real quick, Matt, what did the contract say specifically in regards to what we need to do to get the reward?
Return the noble's daughter and for 200 gold piece, and if you bring the head of the men who kidnapped her.
It did say return. It didn't say find.
Yeah, I offer the party who returns my daughter 200 gold piece each, plus an additional 100 gold piece if you take their heads and bring them to Augustus.
Okay.
So, yes, as Marak and Augustus are kind of finishing that last couple of interactions, and Peter, I didn't mean to get snappy at you, please understand. It's just more just like, it's just genuinely felt like the way you kept being like this, that, and the other. It's like, just like, come on, Peter. I can't come up with names. I wasn't going to think that far into it. But anyways, so you two are wrapping up your conversation as Steve, Worf, Dan, and Clary enter the gallery, and Clary kind of walks up and stands next to Augustus.
Boys, good to see you. We're just having a lovely conversation about humans and how some of them are bald. Isn't that right, Dan?
Yes. How some of them
Dandan's bulbs
choose
from
to
a
be
fire.
bold.
Augustus.
Yes.
Well, we've done a little bit of preliminary investigation here. Is there anything that, other than the fact that it seems out of character, that leads you to believe that your daughter was kidnapped and didn't leave of her own choice?
Well, Steve, if truth be told, you do not need to make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
He is friendly towards you. But you see, Steve, the reasons I believe this must be a kidnapping is because while, yes, I do understand your men's implications that my daughter is probably off in some country chasing after some forbidden love of her own, it is still very unlike her not to leave some kind of letter explaining her absence or some kind of indication as to why she would suddenly up and leave. I understand that depression is a thing and that, our mental health is very important. And try as I might to get through to her for the last month, it was an impossible task. Not only that,
Well,
but I have, as much of an investigator as you are, isn't it highly suspicious that the day that this Valeran troop, for the first time in over a year, that comes to us with a peace agreement in an attempt to open the borders under their own sanctions and under their own terms that I have to turn down for the safety of Novarian people, that they would not retaliate by going after me personally? I'm sorry. This is a kidnapping.
We'll still look into this, but I just want to be clear with you that if we do find her and she doesn't want to come back, I'm not going to make her come back.
Give me a diplomacy check with that statement.
Jeez. Man, Steve.
You have 2 hero points left. Or no, I think you have 3. Do you
I
have?
got 2 left.
You have 2 hero points left.
Man, Steve, being real ballsy
Oh,
here.
come on.
You have 1 hero point left, or you can save your result.
It's a good thing hero points don't incur the multiple attack penalty.
Correct, they don't. So with how you said, and I can tell, Steve, that you're not trying to be cutting, but you're just being firm with your belief that yes, if this woman did run away to chase some love rather than being taken hostage for reasons, Augustus does look at you and he kind of closes his eyes a little bit and he looks up at you and goes, "Just make sure she's safe, please."
You have my word.
Thank you. Is there anything else you guys need before I send you away?
Yes. Does she have any close friends that you could point us towards that she may have, if she has run off on her own, that she may have told her intentions to?
You were going to talk to her friends. Your best bet would be the theater. Unfortunately, I am not too well versed into her many different friends, for while I know she had plenty, she would never bring them home. But I do know she was very, very close to the theater troupe that performs nightly on the 3rd floor of the inner ward.
Okay. Thank you. And we will find her.
Steve,
We'll do our best.
Worf, Dan. Give me a flat wisdom roll.
Are we wanting to see if the guy can read the jewelry or no?
Oh, good.
Never mind.
Good
Do
thought.
not roll a wisdom roll.
Okay.
but yeah, so
I'm a rock.
Augustus looks at you, Worf, and oh, a piece of jewelry?
I'm gonna call this Steve. Is he someone that has it?
Did I take it out of the room? Okay.
Yeah, you took
yes,
you had it in your hand.
Okay. Well, okay. We found this piece of jewelry that seemed to be prized. I don't recognize this language. Did you, or Marak, do you recognize this language?
Augustus takes the jade ornament and he looks at it and he shows Marak. Marak, do you have warfare lore?
I don't.
Then you would not recognize the language. But Augustus looks at it and goes, well, I can tell you this is definitely Valeran in origin. You see, Kire, a traveling merchant who frequents between Novar and Valera, has been bringing gifts to Jaden over the last couple of months. And this is her most recent gift that she received. Kire would not tell me who it was from or why, but only that I was to give it to Jaden. Hands it back to Steve.
Where could we find that guy then?
Say that one more time for me, Worf.
Where could we find him?
Her? Kire? She
Yes.
would likely be in Masai at this point. She's typically between the two countries about once every 2 weeks. I've actually been waiting for her return since my daughter's kidnapping so I could talk to her, but she hasn't been by yet.
Is she normally?
She's here every couple of weeks, but
I mean, is it past the time that she would have normally been stopping by?
no, it's just been that she hasn't had, well, truth be told, I missed her the last time she came through. She seemed to have some type of squabble with, oh wait, no, that would have been, sorry, that's meta. That would be way too long ago. Never mind. No, I simply missed her the last time. I was very distraught and
You haven't
depressed.
seen her since she's went missing?
I haven't been able to speak with her. She's on the road constantly.
Okay.
If you
But
guys,
she's been back since the missing.
I'm sure she has. I did not, I was not able to go and meet her the last time she came through town.
All right. Thanks for the information.
Good luck, gentlemen.
One piece we should ask for. The men who came through with the treaty that you denied, can you tell us their names and appearances?
Well, I can tell you that they're, of course, as you would typically would expect Valeran soldiers to appear as. They typically wear long white robes that are typically tied up, typically, you know, their loins girded up, as you would expect, and wearing soft white turbans, and carrying scimitars. This is sounding very whatever. Anyways, but I didn't get the names of the soldiers, but their captain was a man by the name of Mahmud. I'm gonna type that into Foundry.
Has the captain visited here before? Perhaps a year ago?
This particular troop was not. No. At least, they didn't speak with me. Last time that Valera negotiated peace agreements, it was with the king himself. But Mahmud and his men were from a different faction within Valera. I guess I can tell you this, gentlemen. You see, Valera is not like Novar. Novar is well constructed, a uniform government and a uniform military. The only private military known to the country of Novar is, well, where you guys are employed, the Hunters Guild. But in Valera, while there is a king and a queen, while they do typically act as an oligarchy, sorry, not oligarchy, a monarchy, there are plenty of smaller resistance groups. Those who wish to dissolve their own government from within, and so that we may bring peace between our two countries again. And while I wish for that day to truly come, it won't be with one small resistance group, that's for sure.
So hold on a second here, just to double check. He denied the peace treaty between Valeria and Novar.
Yes.
And he's openly admitting, right? Do we know why?
You didn't really ask him why. The only subtle hint he dropped was the fact that he didn't want to risk opening the borders yet. But he didn't specify any details beyond that. You didn't ask him to specify any details.
Can I roll a sense motive, Maddie, on, because he just openly admitted that there are factions within Valeria that
Valera.
Valera, sorry. We're trying to overthrow. Nice flow. To overthrow
Wait, it's
their
not
own
Peter for
government.
once.
It's not me. I already did it.
I'm pouring a glass of water again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like someone just has a microphone down next to the toilet. If that's it.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, I want to roll a motive on
Fuck.
understanding why he denied this.
Well,
Peace
so
treaty.
I'll just tell you this. Roll your sense motive and I will tell you what information you get from that roll.
This is like the ASMR experience I didn't need.
I'm gonna hero point that.
Okay?
Okay, I think I have one left.
Okay. Yeah, just as an FYI, we probably have about an hour and a half left. So if you still have sitting on 3, make sure to use them. Marak, as he's talking openly about this, there's no ill will or ill intention in his voice. He's not hiding behind anything. He is as open, as honest as he is speaking, as far as you can tell. And you have a pretty good inclination that you think that what he is saying is true.
Who are these factions that are trying to overthrow the Valera government? Are
Oh,
they here right now?
no.
In or Altanova?
No, that is Valeran matters. All I can tell you is that while yes, there is a uniformed monarchy within Valera itself, of course, with how the war has been going on, many resistance groups within Valera have started popping up. And these resistance groups do want to open the borders between Novar and Valera to allow for trades and commerce to continue. But if I do that, if I open my borders up,
Put us in opposition with the monarchy.
not only would it put us in open opposition with the monarchy, but then the monarchy could respond by sending in units covertly, easily within my walls. So yes, until I can be assured that opening the borders would mean the safety of Novar and her people, I would deny any request.
Okay, so hold on. So these Valerian troops were not sent by the monarchy then?
Correct. Yes.
I'm sorry. That I thought these are not official Valerian troops then.
Correct. They
These
are
are
Valeran. They are, yes, sure. That's what he's kind of getting
They're
at.
not the official government troops.
Correct.
These are rebels.
They are Valerans and they are troops. I know
Based
your
on
mind
all
is
the-
shattering right now. I know. It's okay.
Do you want me to make a? I'm sorry. Did anyone else pick up on that before I said that, or sorry?
No, I didn't.
But no, it wasn't
Until just
something.
now when Matt was saying it.
Right, because it's not something you're gonna know unless Augustus is explaining it to you. But yes, that is Peter, just to kind of help speed things up. But that is exactly what Augustus is saying: is that he didn't specify that it was a rebel government or a rebel, not a rebel government, but a rebel alliance or anything, or faction there, thank you, or a rebel guild or anything, but that just, it's simply that they are still Valerans at the end of the day, regardless if they're rebellious of their own government, regardless if they are, the intentions of these Valerans are to reopen the trade routes between the two countries, and Augustus is denying it from these rebels because it's not the government that came. The what he did say is that the king and his men himself did come about a year ago to discuss a peace treaty. He didn't describe why it was denied, and you can make your own assumptions unless you really want to ask him and find out. But that being said, this recent troop, yes, was a resistance faction, a rebellious faction that attempted to try to ask for the borders to be open again. But his reason for denying it was simply because if he did allow those borders to be opened again, it would make it very easy for the monarchy to then start sending in spies and allow for it would just make the whole matter worse. So anyways, that's a beside point. I mean, it's an important point, but it's a beside point.
Got it.
So, but anyways, well, if there's anything else you guys need, otherwise I believe it's pretty obvious what your next steps are here.
We're going back to Mount Heidi.
Say that one more time.
Going back to Mount Heidi. No, let's go to the theater, boys.
Oh yeah, I'm good to go.
God, I want to go talk to Mailmud or Malmud, whatever his name is.
Malmud? Well, so
yes.
Worf and so Augustus, good luck, and please, Steve, on your word, if you aren't to return her, just make sure she's safe. Stay good on your word, but please bring her back to me. With that, he bids you guys adieu outside of his department, and you guys head back out into the inner ward itself. Oops. There we go. And you guys head out into the inner ward again. Sure enough, you're back in the atrium where there's a giant. What are we rolling for? Oh, medicine check. Okay. It has been, yes, it's been about an hour. At least an hour, yes. But yes, you guys are back in the atrium. I'm gonna go grab some water while you guys discuss amongst yourselves, or just tell me what you want to do.
We are deciding to do the theater, right?
I want to join the Rebel Alliance.
Oh hell yeah, I'm down.
Throw that out there. I think we should go join the Rebel Alliance. Completely
Just
throw
these badges off and
throw these badges off. Let's join the Rebel Alliance. Let's
Well,
do
the
it.
Rebel Alliance isn't even for this country, so I think we maybe could technically still be licensed for this country.
oh hell yeah. Well, I think it's more the act of doing it because it feels rebellious
No,
if we're taking these badges off.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. I just feel like it feels like we're,
I actually,
being...
Worf, I imagine you and I would immediately throw our badges down, stomp on them, and say, we're joining the Rebel Alliance. And then that's
We're
when Steve would
rebels.
be like, actually, I'm pretty sure we would just be like double agents, so we could keep our badges, guys. And I'd be like, we're rebels!
After we've already thrown ours in a fire or something.
Still rebels! Dan, I healed you for 17.
I am glad that they only really
didn't hit me the
cared
first
about
time around, though,
Steve
did you?
keeping his word.
No, I fucked up.
Like,
Well, Steve was the only one who said such
I know,
a cutting.
It's nice. You got like the pressure on it, Steve. We don't we're just meet on the sidelines.
Steve was going to make sure that she was okay if she didn't want to come out anyway. Like, Steve was gonna do that either way.
So
No extra.
So you guys hop back into the elevator, or sorry, the magical cylinder. And as you recall from Augustus, he did say that the theater that she would frequent was on the 3rd floor.
Let's head to the third floor.
Floor, holding on to bird.
So Marak, so you guys kind of walk into the cylinder and you hit the 3, and it kind of throws you down so quickly that you feel like you're like, it gives you that butterfly feeling from when you ride a roller coaster, and suddenly stops on floor level 3. And you guys walk out, and everybody give me a quick perception check. You know, you're kind of looking around, and you're such an unusual. No.
Yeah.
You're in such an unusual place that you would have no idea where to find this.
Can I get a hero point for taking on the responsibility from that guy?
You know what, Steve? Honestly, I'm so bad at giving hero points. I will say your roleplay with that was so on point that I will love to give you a hero point. And in fact, on that as well, you know what? All 4 of you can take a hero point. All 4 of you played your parts so well that I actually genuinely enjoyed that interaction with Augustus.
I talked the shit up on that guy.
Dan, I know you didn't have a whole lot, but you played your part well at the end of the day. You are man Dan. You are cool man.
Thing. Not talk that much to these people.
So
they like it better when I don't.
So I still need Marak, I still need a perception check. But Dan and Worf, Steve, you're kind of just still taking in just the awe of this whole wonderful magical place. Marak, you're just useless at that. You're actually no, and that's perfect because you are currently busy trying to put bandages that you're actually not paying attention to your surroundings. But Worf and Dan, you both see what clearly must be some type of auditorium, or a hall, or sorry, a double set of doorways that does have a nice big bold letters that does say auditorium on it. And
I
so
can't read this.
You can't, but you do see a door that does say the words auditorium. You just can't read that word, so really it just looks like a bunch of scribbles to you. But Worf, you do see that. It says auditorium.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I should also say there is that that kind of what do they call the boards, like the poster boards outside of restaurants that are like, you know, come inside for a good beer or whatever.
Sandwich board.
Sandwich board. Thank you. You do see a couple of sandwich boards, but all they show is like arrows pointing in on a bunch of scribbles. But Worf, you do see like the signs that say "Wonderful Ben and its dancing men," pointing in towards the auditorium.
Do you guys want to go see Wonderful Ben and his dancing men?
Absolutely, I do.
All right. Do you want to enter the way we should enter, Steve, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to start, or should I start?
I've already started.
I'm going to hold the door open,
and
I will follow. Oh no, there's not an active encounter. I can't perform.
No, you have to. Sorry, go under skills and click on it.
Oh yep. Okay.
But yeah, so Steve, how are you dancing into the auditorium?
I'm doing like shuffling finger guns.
Okay. So luckily it's probably about midday. This is really not a time for most people to be entering the auditorium because there's not a show going on at the moment. It's still probably about 10 or 11 in the morning. But Steve, you start walking in and you're finger gunning it as you are walking into this auditorium, and it's a pretty large auditorium, probably seats about 500 people. And of course there are men and women on stage. Looks like they're setting up for the day's show. When you come strutting in and finger gunning at them. But then Worf, what are you doing as you enter the auditorium?
So I'm gonna like kind of crouch and then power thrust with my arms out, thrusting through my arms, and then repeating that motion with the forward momentum.
Okay, well, with that forward momentum, it takes you a minute to get your groove, and in fact, you keep bumping into Steve as you're trying to like get him to strut his way forward faster. And you guys are just kind of out of sync with each other. But at the end of the day, one of the men who seems to be like calling and directing his theater troupe to set up the stage does turn around and sees both of you walking in such a fashion.
I will say that I am
And
saying,
stops.
come on, Steve.
Excuse me, gentlemen.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
Excuse me,
That was a
gentlemen.
Def Leppard reference, just for our listeners.
Good job.
Did not get that one. Even I think we got mixed up too much because you said Def Leppard and then he said
I
Poison.
did the poison thing.
And we're just freeballing.
But yes, the man who's kind of directing the theater troupe as they're putting their day's show together is, oh, what could I do for you, gentlemen?
Hey, my name's Steve. Me and my associates are with the
Hold on,
Hunters
hold on.
Guild.
Have you seen Jaden around?
Jaden? Who's Jaden?
All right, continue, Steve. I wanted to keep it casual if they knew her. Clearly, they could see that we're performers as well. So,
Is this person a performer or he just works here?
He definitely
I don't know.
looks like some type of performer. He definitely has this acrobatic stature of a performer. He might even be Wonderful Ben himself.
Do you know the lady Jaden? Jaden Norman? Is that her name?
Jaden Norman? Oh, of Augustus Norman's kin? I don't, but at this point, two ladies who are kind of working at on the stage stop what they're doing and actually approach. Jaden, are you guys here for looking for Jaden?
Yes. Are you friends with her? Do you know her?
Yes.
are you Jaden?
No, I'm Mariah.
Easy.
I'm Mariah, and this is Dallas. We're very good.
Carrie.
I was really thinking it, but I was like, no, I didn't even mean to call her Mariah, but it came out. It's improvisation, man. You pick up what you see real quick. I'm Mariah, and this is Dallas, and we're very good friends of Jaden. Have you found her?
Not yet. We just wanted to check in with you. So her father's convinced she's been kidnapped. We think it might be more likely
I'm going to
that she
slam the
left on
poetry on
her
the
own.
table as he says this.
Steve kind of winces as he does it, and then say, "As you can see, she seems to be writing
Who
a
are
lot
these
of
for,
love
Mariah?
poetry."
Who or what?
Who are these poems written for, Mariah?
And Dallas and Mariah kind of look at each other, and they look back at you, and
Don't look at each other, look at the poetry.
what? And she kind of blushes very red in the cheeks. She's like, it's very, very private. I couldn't do that to Jaden. Oh, I'm sorry?
We're just trying to find her. If she wants to stay where she is, that's fine. We just want to make sure she's safe.
Well, there was a rumor around the block that she seems to have been taken by a man. Dallas leans in. Yes, I hear it was a Valeran man, even.
Taken? As in kidnapped?
Infatuated with. I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
Did the
Sauron Ray.
guy let me keep that piece of jewelry, or did I?
Yeah, I mean, you didn't. You have it in your hand. He did give it back to you.
Back to me.
Yes.
Do either of you recognize this piece of jewelry
Um,
or understand this language that's inscribed into it?
the two girls look at each other and they look back at you. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm very sorry. That I don't recognize that at all.
All right. So she didn't give you any indication that she was planning on leaving or anything?
Well, I mean, we're very close friends with her, but well, it has been hard getting her out and about for the last couple of months. You don't, Steve. You don't need to roll diplomacy. They're currently friendly with you. I will tell you if you need to make a diplomacy check.
Okay.
But I mean,
How many hero points do you have now,
That's a
Ryan?
third-
literally, I think you've used. I think out of the last. Yeah, sorry.
I've rolled a nat 1 for diplomacy 3 times tonight.
I was just about to say, I feel like it was at least 3 or 4 nat ones on diplomacy, but yeah, like I said, it's so unnecessary for you, Steve. They are currently friendly with you. But if you want to sense motive to see if they're lying, that's a check you can make.
Can I ask what you know about this gentleman?
Which gentleman are you referring to?
Who she's been taken by?
Oh,
And quit laughing if you care about David's life.
I'm sorry, but she didn't tell us. It just, well, I don't remember what she said. She was always just so she was so infatuated about this man she had been pen pals with for the last few months and we couldn't figure it out. We wanted her to go out and meet him, but she finally admitted after so long that she couldn't because he was Valerian.
How'd you meet him?
Don't know. We don't know. I mean,
Did she have anywhere she would have kept the notes? In this theater?
No, not in the theater. You're looking at all of her notes, aren't you? You took her poetry. Surely you would have kept her letters as well.
Notes. Where would do I see any letters going through this stuff from like different handwriting?
No, you do not.
She probably kept. Fuck, should we go back and?
So hold on.
That's true.
So Steve, I will say this for you, Worf. Steve did get a critical success on finding every good bit of information. Now, as I did say earlier, what you did find was her written drafts of poetry. You did not find any letters. You did find a jade ornament that seemed to be of importance due to its different nature than anything else that was in her room. But you don't. It would be fruitless to go back and try to look for more letters, because surely with Steve's very good investigation skills, you guys would have found letters in her room.
Okay, so she gave you no information about this man.
Only that he was Valerian. I'm really sorry. She just was so infatuated with him, and then suddenly she just often disappears to her room, and we hadn't seen her for a couple of months. Yeah, no. And then all of once 3 weeks ago we find out she's missing.
Do you want to say if you are lying and withholding information, you are going to be the cause of Jaden's death? And I don't know if you'll be able to live with that. But
Intimidation check, please.
trying to drop some truth on them.
Marak, go ahead. If you want to do that, I would just need a perception. Society.
Legal lore?
Or legal lore, sure.
Can I do? Is that dope? Okay.
Well, legal lore, no. Actually, I would take that back.
I'm going.
If you're looking for secret code, okay. What's your reasoning? Oh yeah, they're scared of you, Thomas.
Hell yeah.
If it's a legal lore, my idea is that I guess you have to have like some sort of formal like training in this, and so
and that's such a stretch. What you're looking for is decipher writing, and decipher writing is clearly a society check. So I would need a society roll.
All right, I'll do it.
I'm sorry. I mean, if you had it,
prey on the foam. Just kidding.
I mean, you don't have to tell me.
My hunted prey.
You scan through those documents and you're trying to see and catch any different phrases or terminology she could have mentioned. But as I'd already explained to you, I will say you weren't there for, so thank you for not metagaming. But when you're reading through these poems, you're getting the same type of feelings that Worf and Steve had already gotten. And Dan has no idea because he can't read. In that she seems to, desire such a forbidden man, or and he's so far away, and phrases like that, where it's clearly that she is in love with a man she can't be with because he is both
Okay,
far
now-
away from her and is of another social status or country.
Okay, boom, you just said it. Social status, legal. Okay, so legal lore. Can I now use that to go ahead and see if I can figure out if this guy has like some sort of higher social status? Can I figure out if it has some sort of rank or like official title or something like that?
No, these are poems. These are poems with fruitful language that would have no inclination whatsoever that he's a captain or that he's a commander or that he's a. So while you can roll for it, I am just going to. No, I'm just helping you because you can roll for it.
There's no line like "Captain of my heart."
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Like
But
something like that. Like
There's nothing in between with your decipher writing. Yeah, with your decipher writing, there is nothing that would there's nothing that would describe this man beyond that he is someone she can't have. Whether it's both because he is not close to her and because he is of a different social status, like I said, like from a different country. So it doesn't.
There's no poem that's like, "My dearest John Smith, captain of the of the army of this country, who lives at this address and has 6'3" with."
Okay.
Because that would be really helpful.
Kidnapper, my
Hey,
kidnapper.
well, I can't. You know what though? You do bring up a very interesting point, one that I didn't gleam on because I didn't feel like it was necessary. But yes, Peter, one thing you do glean from that poem that the others didn't really pick up on because they didn't seem to really care so much was that he is a olive or dark-skinned man.
I was really hoping that would be that Maroc was moved by the poetry.
Maroc does not have those type of emotions. I'm sorry.
I was turned on.
Dan, on the other hand, also no, he can't read. He can't read. But you do feel some type of love draw, like you feel like a tear starting to form from your right eye as you look at the scribbled words, as if someone's trying to express their love in a form that you could never understand because you can't read.
Wait, this is Dan?
Yes, I'm joking.
Oh no, I was gonna like reassure Dan, like hold his hand
No.
and be like, hey.
No, he feels nothing. Dan can't read. He feels nothing.
It's okay.
But anyways, yeah. So
Steve, what did you gotta read?
If they are words worth hearing and saying, they will be heard and said. Having them on these pages means nothing to me.
are you guys going to find Jaden then?
We're gonna do our best.
Well,
Thanks for all your help.
good luck.
Really appreciate it.
Please.
Dude, really bring the hope up there. Steve. Gonna do what we can.
No,
We'll see. I don't fucking know.
This is just Steve's.
This is just a job. Is that what you're gonna say?
No. It's Steve's reaction after he's been like trying to be really nice and interview people, and you come in and be like, "He's gonna die. That's gonna be your fault." And I'm just like, "Oh God! All right, let's get out of here while we can."
I love it.
What are these? A bunch of thespians. What are they gonna do? Like act at us? We'll beat the shit out of them. They're not gonna do anything to us.
I don't
I'm
know.
not worried that they're gonna fight us. I'm just worried that
We just
they're
fucking
not
kill
gonna
them.
like
We
us.
don't have to worry about it. Remember when we did that with the Navy?
I'm worried that they're not gonna like us, and Steve wants everybody to like him.
That is a good point. You are playing your character very well against finally, Steve. You're back in full form. I love it. But with that, the two ladies then start going back to what they were doing on the stage while wonderful Ben is choreographing their setup. And everybody's kind of left you alone in this auditorium.
All right.
Is there? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I suggest, because I'm assuming we're gonna be setting out towards, what's it called, Messier or whatever?
Masai, yep.
Masai. Before we go, do we want to stop at the Hunters Guild and see if anybody there understands this writing, just in case it might give us a bit of a arrow
I feel like that would be
pointing us
smart.
where we should go.
Okay.
That's a good idea. Yeah. I was gonna ask if there was like because if they just had like these rebel troops come in, we'll probably have to go back and talk to Augustus. But did I get a feeling, Maddie, when we were talking that like people knew these Valerian troops were coming in, or did they have to like kind of like come in under cover of darkness or something?
I mean, if they went straight, if they walked in to Altanova, they clearly had some type of authorization. Clearly, there must have been some type of line of communication between their public meeting with Augustus. With your
Does the
society,
general public know about it though?
Right.
that's something you would, I guess, have to ask the general public.
Well,
You-
are we the general public?
You are the
thing I was
general
gonna
public,
ask,
and
is
no,
there-
you wouldn't know, except from
Is
that
there
quest.
some sort of like embassy that they could have possibly, or like?
But they're rebels, so
I mean, they.
True.
Here's a point, Peter. They came into the country about 8 weeks ago. They traveled long to Altanova to finally sit down and have a discussion with Augustus about 4 weeks ago. By now, they would have clearly have already been back in the country of Valera. So even if you wanted to go and find them with your society check, you would know that your first steps to even finding these people would be to head to Valera. There is no Valerian embassy. This is a Cold War. Everything that had anything to do with Valera has been torn down and destroyed by Novarian government. Same with Valera. It's most likely they have simply cut ties and built a wall saying keep each other out. With
It
your
seems like we are headed towards eventually Masai. Because what's at Masai again? Why are we? What was there that we got?
well, so
it's like
oh,
a
actually,
border town.
there are
Say it
several
again,
rings. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say it's like the border town, so we'd be able to talk with Valerians, but we wouldn't have to be like deep undercover yet, because
Right, but didn't
Novarians are allowed
Augustus
to.
tell us something about Masai? I know he said that phrase. Did he say anything about it or no?
I
Or am I
don't remember.
So okay, I was gonna give you guys the opportunity to try to see if you remembered. The thing that you're remembering, Peter, is the specific phrase that the jade ornament that Steve showed Augustus and you. Augustus said was given to her by Kire, the merchant.
The vendor, the merchant.
The merchant is in Masai. Or is likely to be in Masai. Not for sure, but that Kire is known to travel. Yeah, it's their only travel point. It's for sure where you're going to meet them at some
Okay,
point.
so Kira is a female merchant, and she's from, or possibly traveling to Masai.
She's one of the only few individuals known to travel through both Valera and Masai, or Valera and Novar, as Augustus had stated.
Okay. Good memory on that one, Peter, because I totally forgot about that.
That was metagaming, so my bad.
That's fine. It's fine. I mean, that's information that if you truly cared about this Jaden woman as real people who are trying to investigate this kidnapping, you would remember that. So I will give that to you. As players of a game that is so loosely, there's no urgency.
Metagaming, in fact, was I even there when I was? Oh, I guess
Yeah,
no, I was
you
there
were
when
there.
that was-
Everybody was there.
I was, yeah. Okay. Novar. Okay.
All right.
got it.
Should
So
we hit up the adventure or the Hunters Guild quick then, and then make for Masai?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I definitely want to resupply. I didn't realize we're going to be traveling pretty far, so I'd like to resupply. Maddie, are you cool if I just? Do you want me to are we role playing,
we'll
buying shit? Or do you want
kind
me
of do it. We'll get to that in just a moment. But yes, we don't need to necessarily role play so much as you just tell me what you're going to buy, and I will tell you if and where and how much. Unless you want to do any haggling or bartering. But So you guys do leave out of the inner ward, and sure enough, you pass through the north gate of the inner ward, and the 2 guards that were posted there that morning that let you in bid you adieu as you travel back down the bridge towards the Hunters Guild. Take care, friends. You guys make it. Sorry, I was waiting for a reaction from you, but that's fine. So you guys make it. He said, "Thanks, friends."
Oh, yeah, that's my bad role playing on my part.
That's okay.
These are fine.
That's okay. You guys do make it back to the Hunters Guild, and by the time you guys walk into the comfy, cozy building of Hunters Guild, it's probably about high noon. You walk in, and sure enough, it's as busy as it can get, as it possibly can be. There are plenty of people. The guildmaster's in the back. He's looking at his board. He's handing scrolls off to different guild members.
I'm gonna walk in, cup my hands around my mouth, and yell out, "Hey, friends! Got a quick question for you guys. Does anybody recognize this script?"
Are you holding up the ornament as well, or?
Yes. I found that by this script, like the script that's on this.
Oh, okay. Next to you is a man that you guys know very well, because due to your actions, he was demoted from his position. He looks up at it. Sure enough,
our ward.
You recognize him.
I hate this guy.
Your old chaperone, the senior operative who got you guys into the guild in the first place. Kuno looks up and goes,
"Sucks."
Wait, just quickly though, he doesn't have any grudge with me, right?
"No, not with you, Steve."
What do we even do to Kuno?
We'll get into that later, Worf.
Rotten Thomas, you don't remember?
It was 2 years ago.
If it's
So what happened, Thomas?
this is the one I
we stole
convinced.
the
Yeah,
caravan,
I remember.
and we blamed it on him. Yeah.
This was my character pretending not to remember.
I see. I thought, because I was going to say, it would be okay if you genuinely didn't remember, because it's been
this was
2
the
years.
One I convinced that we got money from the caravan that we bought individually, right?
Correct. And or you were supposed to, similar enough, but yes.
I remember it. Yeah.
Anyways.
Man, 2 years ago, Kuno doesn't fucking remember.
No, good for Kuno, it's been 8 weeks.
Yeah, he doesn't remember that shit. Just moved on.
Kuno looks at the artifact that you're holding up, and he goes, "Oh, it's definitely Valerian. It's just, it looks like a signature of some sorts. I don't know these names, but it's definitely looks like the signature of the Valerian who made it."
Do you know if anybody else here would possibly understand this?
Well, I mean, again,
Recognize the names?
you would probably be best to actually ask the guildmaster himself.
Oh, thanks, Kuno. You're a good friend.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna
Kind
give him a
of
pat on the shoulder.
side eyes Worf and Dan and Marak, just a touch, like not openly, not harshly, but
Nice to see you, Kuno.
When we walk by Kuno, Marak kind of just takes his badge out on his chest, like he pulls back his cloak that he's got and has his badge on his vest, and he just kind of does a big old stretch. Oh, that was got that cut on my cloak right there. And kind of thumbs the badge a little bit and kind of shines it and goes, "What? Is your badge all clean?" "Yeah, a little smudge on it." And he gets a little bit of spit on it, and he wipes it down. "There you go, Worf. Looks good."
Steve, you walk up to the guildmaster Kron, and sure enough, he's okay. You go ahead and take that. Oh, Steve!
Big Don Kron, what's going on, man?
Oh, it's not much.
Nothing
Ooh, what's this? And he takes the jade ornament and he looks at it. Oh, yeah, well, it looks like a Valerian jade ornament of some kind. Where'd you get it?
We found it in our investigation into the young Miss Norman's disappearance.
Oh, well, yeah, it looks like it's the signature of the vendor or merchant who made it. As far as I can tell, it says Ari Fatuma.
All right, Ari Fatima.
He hands it back to you. Yeah, whoever that is. But if it helps you in your investigation, I really hope you guys can make underway with that. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've heard it before. Once somebody goes missing, those first 72 hours are very important. Otherwise, they are most likely already dead.
Yeah, I think I remember saying something like that a month ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, we think that this was not a kidnapping. We're leaning heavily towards she ran away.
Oh,
to be
well.
with a man.
Oh.
And so, but we're just gonna go check it out, make sure everything is above board, and we're about to head out pretty soon after we resupply. We'll keep you in the loop, Kron.
Steve, I trust your decision implicably. I know you are a good-natured man. Elf, excuse me, I'm sorry. Didn't mean offense. You make that decision, and you live with it. You live with it well. Good luck.
Thanks. See you later.
Take care, friend. And then he goes back to his board and continues his business. So, sure enough, Warcan is still parked in the stables. It is high noon. If you do want to make any purchases, Gregorio, the Hunters Guild's own merchant, sells a lot of very common, typical items for half price. Otherwise, as you can expect, Altanova in itself is the largest city in this entire continent. So any item you would like to purchase is most likely going to be available in this town. Just tell me what you're after, and I will tell you if it's something you can purchase and how much. Unless you already know what the book price is.
I already know what it is, and can I sell a couple of shit, Matty Patty?
Sure. Depending on the items you are trying to sell, I will tell you this: Gregorio is likely not to be able to purchase any of your items unless they are very common, like a longbow and a potion of lesser healing. Beyond that, he is not going to accept any items. But the items that you would... What are you trying to sell, for instance?
Cat's Eye Elixir, Quicksilver.
Apothecary. Apothecary, for sure, would purchase that.
Like, same thing with like a dragon breath.
If it's a potion or elixir of some type, yeah, a magical item would be the apothecary. Well, I shouldn't say a magical item, but potions, herbs, fungi, etc. That would be an apothecary. If you got a magical item you want to sell, a rune, for instance, you would want to speak to the archmages, the merchants, Elizabeth, Leslie, if you remember her. Steve remembers her well.
Leslie,
do you remember what Leslie said how much of a discount she said she would give me?
Fuck, I don't. I think it was half off or something, or I genuinely don't.
There was something you wanted, Ryan, after she was going to do that. I don't remember what it was. Maddie, since we're doing this, go ahead.
I think I wanted to get the +2 striking hand wraps with mighty blows.
Well, you wanted to get the +2 potency rune.
Yeah.
So, because you already have striking mighty hand, whatever's. I think she said she would put it in for free, and she would sell it for half price. And that's just what we're going to say, because I'm not going to go back through the stream and re-listen to that conversation. While it was hilarious.
No, I need you to re-listen to it.
Shut up.
Right now.
But yes. So any purchases you guys want to make, if you want to make any common purchases, like lesser potions of healing, you can do it for half price. He sells them for 6 gold piece instead of the usual 12. Gregorio does. So stock up on as many of those potions as you want. If you want to stock up on rations and
those right now.
Yep. But let's
slap down 18 gold.
We're gonna do that kind of out of this session though, because we only have like half an hour left, and I do want to get to a certain point before we end tonight's session, and we can kind of call back and role play if necessary. But let's just assume that the purchases you made were made successfully, and you can make them off stream. Or off session. But so sure enough, after you guys have made your purchases, it's been about an hour and you're ready to hit the road. You are equipped with everything you feel like you need to make this journey a success. And at this point, all you have left is to take the Warcan's reins and get heading to wherever you'd like to go. And I do want to, and I should, just because I don't want to railroad you guys either, I am only specifically saying for purchases. If you have other people you want to talk to, I don't want to stop you from doing that. But if it's just to make purchases, we'll skip the role play of that for today.
I'm all
I
good
don't
to
think there's anyone
go.
else I need to talk to.
I think yeah. So, is the price just since it's 1,000, but the one below it is 100? Does that mean the price for the room would be 900?
We'll get into that later, Steve. I don't know how to math that yet.
Yeah, I can look that up for us, Ryan, later.
So yes, so you guys are back at the Hunters Guild after making your purchases. You've reconvened with each other. Sure enough, Warcan is still in the stables. Sheila's still handling your horses quite well. You guys approach her, and well, here you guys go. It's safe travels.
Oh, thanks, Sheila. You're the best.
Well, good luck out there. She heads back in. Sorry, there's a little Minnesotan slip. You are ready to hit the road. Who's piloting? Who's sitting where? What are you guys doing?
Sorry, I'm trying to get my
That's fine.
map up here.
I just need to know who's doing what.
I'm hopping on for piloting, but I'm also just about to pee.
Yep.
So if you could roll
You're-
that for me.
You don't need to. So
I'm gonna pray
Peter.
on the Warcan, and then I'm gonna roll survival.
Okay. Anyways,
I seriously am gonna roll survival.
that's fine. Thomas, go ahead and pee. But Thomas, Worf and Maroc, you guys no longer need to handle animal in order to just drive the, or you no longer need to make that nature check. I gave you a free fake feat that basically allows us to just kind of continue our normal reigns. As long as you guys, as long as the two of you, 'cause Steve hasn't driven the boat or the caravan, and Dan unfortunately fantastically failed in a great fashion the first time he ever tried to take the reins of that caravan. It was beautiful.
Okay.
Guys, can I try driving this time?
No.
Worf has already
I will
taken the
say,
reins.
Our DM did just Freudian slip boat, so I should expect water and potentially the Huracan flooding.
Oh my god. Anyways, so you all head out of Altanova on the Warcan. Rock, you're passenger, you are navigation. Steve, quit fucking moving.
I'm on my way.
Worf is piloting the caravan. Dan and Steve, you both are inside the caravan, enjoying a nice, comfortable ride. You travel the well-known main roads of Novar, passing traveling merchants and locals and adventurers on the road. Rock, if you are navigating for Worf, and Worf, if you want to decide if you know the ways, go ahead and both of you give me a survival check.
And Maddie, just to double check, you said we don't need to roll handle animal to pilot the Warcan, but we still need to roll survival to like
Navigate.
sense direction.
Correct. Yeah, just purely the feat of piloting the Warcan. You and Worf no longer. I don't need nature checks. All right, I'm trying to speed that through, but survival checks. So you and Worf, you know you need to go east. That's about the best you've got. Maroc, you kind of have a better gauge as to what directions. In fact, you know exactly the roads you need to take. And at this point, you are Worf. You're accepting Maroc's orders at this point, kind of. but between your banter and bickering as you guys make your travels, everything is just, it feels calm and relaxing compared to your usual high-stakes adventures. You ride through different small villages and homesteads on your ways. You pass from plains and farm fields into dense woodlands and forests of Novar. The sweet smell of maple and pine aplenty. At this point, the road goes forever on as the sun starts to set. Excuse me. The sun starts to set and drops below the skyline and the trees as you make your way through the forests. You find yourselves tiring after a long day's travels towards Masai. You are too far from any town or village at this point without risking the rest of your little daylight and, of course, fatigue. However, you may choose, if you wish, to continue, or because it is now nighttime, if you'd like to camp in this nice small forest glade you'd find just off the road as well, you guys can decide what you would like to continue doing.
So you said we can either camp or we can keep pushing through, but we'll get fatigued?
You'll be fatigued, yes. If you keep deciding to push through, because you are the navigator and Tom and Worf is the pilot, both of you would suffer fatigue the next day. So,
Could we sleep in shifts between me and Worf? Or, Murak?
you can. I mean, I will say it is best if you guys decide to camp. At this point, it's a very calm and relaxing time. By all means, if you two want to switch back and forth, you can. Steve and Dan, you both can choose to sleep in the war can itself, or if you guys want to get out and finally stretch your legs after a long day of just sitting in this dirty, damp, whatever you guys want to do.
I feel like Marak and Worf, I feel like at this point have a good handle on driving the thing, but I think the big thing is, are we in a time crunch? If we're not in a time crunch, then let's camp. So I would.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. I mean, it's been a fucking month, right? If she's gonna be eaten by her kidnapper, she's eaten.
So I'm gonna lean to Steve on his, because he's the one who's doing most of the investigation. Right, Steve? Are we kind of in a time crunch?
I don't think so at this point. I think we have time to. I think we have time to camp out.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so we'll stop then.
So you guys, as I said already, as you kind of decided that, maybe it is a time to set up camp and take the rest of the evening off from riding and being able to take your armor off and find yourselves relaxing and enjoying the beautiful forest that surrounds you. You guys get parked into a small forest glade that you find about 100 feet in from the road. You guys
We're setting up
park.
that camp.
Yep. So you guys park the war can. Dan, you immediately hop out and you start setting up your bedroll. You guys pull together. You get a small campfire going, and everything just looks very peaceful and relaxing as you guys try to settle in for the night, having good conversation with each other and just reeling in from a long day's travel. You got the nice campfire going, you're able to eat, get your rations in, and you're feeling pretty sleepy. And at this point, you guys want to start nodding off and heading to bed.
Are we doing shifts, y'all?
We'll take the last shift.
All right.
Marak can take the first one.
In that case, I'm gonna lay on my back. Just kick me when you need me.
Okay.
Excuse me. Marak is the only one I want to not say the name of. Dan, Steve, Worf. You guys find yourselves a nice spot in the far point of this little cliff side in this forest glade, and you set up your bedrolls and you kind of lay them down. They're close enough to the fire that you can still feel some of its warmth as you lay down and start getting comfortable, and sleep just drifts you off into beautiful dreams. Maroc, you're sitting there, you're doing whatever Maroc likes to do.
He's probably like using his feather fan and kind of like just picking out any of the feathers that are molting and attaching them to the feather itself.
Draw your
I should
little
say.
feather fan and about 2 hours pass. Well, 2.5 hours pass, really, because you want a little longer. You know, you guys need to make up 8 hours in 4 shifts, so it'll take you about 12 hours to accomplish that task. Or 10 hours, I forget. But anyways, Maroc, it's about time to let somebody else take the next shift, so you're ready to go back and really get into some comforting sleep.
I know Dan likes to go last.
I'd take the second shift.
Oh, okay. I'll go wake up Steve then. I kind of take the feathers and just kind of brush it all on his face, nice and soft. And then I go, "Oh, hey, Steve, wake up.
Oh, good morning.
I'm going to bed.
Okay.
Going to bed. Well, you'll go to bed in 2 more hours." And then Steve just kind of like flops down, feathers, and then just goes to sleep. Saws logs.
I'm gonna give him a kiss on the forehead and pull his blanket up a little bit to tuck him in better.
So you tuck him in, you give him a nice little kiss, and you're sitting there, and you're a monk, so you sit in your meditative state, typically, kind of scanning the forest, keeping a watching eye and a good ear on the surroundings and the going abouts, and not really hearing anything for a little while. Everything seems way too calm and peaceful. And sure enough, 2.5 hours later, everything's been too safe and almost hauntingly too safe. But it doesn't matter. It's your time to go back to sleep.
All right, I'm gonna go nudge Worf gently, shake and be like, Worf,
Fuck off.
Worf, it's time for your watch.
All right. Begrudgingly get up.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Just go sleep.
Okay. Good night.
I'll also tuck him in and kiss him on the forehead.
But that's just because that's what you normally do. You weren't awake when Steve did that to Maroc, but
No.
you would normally kiss Steve on the
Right
forehead.
now.
That's understandable. And so you tuck Steve in as well as you go about your business, as you're kind of keeping a watch on everything. And give me a perception check, Worf.
It's coming.
It's okay. Give me 1 second. Ooh, nice. Worf, with your 17, kind of looking out, you're not really seeing anything. Everything, once again, just feels almost too quiet. Until you start hearing a little bit of growling. And this is not your typical growling. This isn't the growl of a wolf or a bear or something that you would typically find in a forest. To you, this almost sounds like the growl of a stranger beast. Something very hostile and violent. You can't quite make out what it is, but you do know it's very close by.
I'm gonna growl myself loud enough to both intimidate and wake up my party.
With that growl, Steve, Maroc, and Dandan, I need perception checks as initiative with a -4 modifier. Worf, I also need a intimidation. Oh wait, so first off, let me do it this way because you guys can't make those rolls yet.
Correct.
There we go. So everybody make your. So Steve, Dan, and Marak, make your standard perception with a -4. Worf, make an intimidation as initiative.
Wait, that's not right.
Oh my, that was cool, Maddie.
Matt, mine should be 2 higher than that.
Okay. Where you haven't even rolled yours yet.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't roll it as initiative. You rolled it as a skill. You need to roll it as an attribute.
Oh, that's why it wasn't 2 higher.
Worf, as you make your calls, you see 4 wargs, and what you could only imagine must be some type of dire warg approaching from the shadows of the trees with hunger in their eyes that they all start growling at you, ready to attack. I need to set up as prone. There we go.
Oh, I rolled the exact same thing.
Well, there you go.
So I might use a hero point on this one, Patty.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Yeah.
Matt, I overheard you kind of say this, but can I assume we've taken our armor off? Is that what you were kind of almost implied that in your description?
I mean, you would so yes, Marak, Dan, and Steve, you guys would have taken your armor off to sleep. Worf,
Take the armor off.
Steve, you're fine. Worf, you would have put your armor back on as you are, as you assumed your positions. So, in that, Marak, Dan, and Steve, you guys wake with a start as you hear Worf growling, and as you kind of like daze in from your tired state, you hear even more aggressive growling. As sure enough, 4 wargs and a dire warg all come in. The first warg.
Sorry, quick question. Are they hostile towards me?
Yes, Steve, they are hostile towards you. The first warg bounds in and runs up to Marak. And what did you get, Worf? You got a... Okay. Runs in up to Marak and makes its first strike.
On my side.
You mean you don't see it? It's literally over the campfire.
Yeah, my
Does a
bad.
27 hit you?
Oh, yes. 27. I'm sorry. I'm paying attention totally.
Yeah. So the dire warg runs up to you, Marak, and bites on you. And at that same point, it kind of pulls you up and starts chomping on you, dealing 12 points of damage to your health. At that point, it also grabs you in its jaws and is holding you there, kind of shaking you about. Marak.
Did I get hit for 12 twice?
Yeah,
Oops, sorry. I didn't see that I did it the first
I
time.
think I
Okay.
must have done it.
Yeah, don't click on, if you see the damage buttons or anything, do not click on them.
All right.
So anyways, Marak, you are currently
We do the damage, then we can.
you are currently grabbed and held in this beast's maw.
Okay. Can you unfreeze the game?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
All right. So I am grabbed. I'm immobilized. Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm grabbed. So I can't stand up.
No, you are currently in the mouth of a beast. A large beast. So
Okay.
you would need to break free. Or just start poking and stabbing if you had a weapon in your hands.
I'm going to would you be okay with me saying that my backpack is right near me?
No,
No.
I would not actually. That would be in a manipulate action, which you.
No, I'm saying like, would you be okay with me grabbing something from my bag as one action because it's right next to me already? Or no? Or do
You
I
would
need to, like-
you would need to escape. You are in the maw of a beast.
Right, but it's
You are
I
not
have
close enough
roll
to your
a-
backpack.
Oh, okay, that's all.
Thank
That's all
you.
I needed to hear.
Yeah, you are not
right,
close enough. You are not within arm's reach of your backpack.
Okay.
You're currently 10 feet high, if that helps you, because he is 10 feet tall.
Oh, he's picked me up.
Yeah, he's got you grabbed in his mouth, and he has lifted you up and is wiggling you around. So you are about 10 feet in the air, grabbed in his jaws.
Oh, so I guess I'm not prone anymore. All right, whatever. Okay. Sure.
Well, you are
I will
fucking.
go ahead.
You are definitely.
I will go ahead and do an unarmed strike then, and try to get out.
Yep. And that's against his fortitude, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
probably be
So
really
yes, you are you are able to push yourself off and get and escape his jaw, and you land on the ground, and you are now prone when you land.
Okay, now prone.
Unless you
All right,
are you
then-
Can you gracefully land with as a Tengu?
Well, I can land without taking damage, but I mean, I would whatever you want to do. If you
No,
wanna
if
say,
you
like,
if you could land, if you land on your feet, that's fine. I'm not going to make you prone. Anyways, continue. Sorry, 2 actions left.
then
Don't you do damage when
I
you
do
escape?
what?
When you unarmored attacked, or is, oh no, it's just
only
escape.
I,
Sorry,
only when I critically
correct.
escape.
Yep.
I am going to activate Bless
Yep.
on my Wayfinder as I kind of like touch my chest, and that's it.
Okay. So the next one up is this warg. This warg will run up to Dan and immediately start chomping at his bits. Does a 19 hit you, Dan?
Hits me when I don't have my armor.
It does? Okay. So it's going to immediately do damage to you. 11 points of damage to you. At that point, it is also going to... Oh, it cannot because you're not small. Never mind. So it can't grab you. So it's going to then just go ahead and try to bite down on you again while it's still in your... He has you a bit, but he's not grabbed. Grabbed, but not grabbed. Let's put it that way. So this is an 18 hit you. With the bless and everything and all that stuff.
Wait, does Bless increase my AC?
I don't think it does, but
Nope,
I'm just
your
saying.
attack.
18 ties.
18 does tie, okay. So it bites down on you again, taking a good meaty chomp at your bits, and deals another 8 points of damage to you. Worf, you're up next. Mind you, this creature in front of you, the dire warg, is flat-footed or off guard to you because of your feats.
Well, hell yeah. Then I will be doing a stealthy. Oh god, which one was I using?
What one do you have in your hand? I will give you the option to choose, whichever one you'd want in your hand.
Let's do the rapier.
So you take your rapier and you go ahead and make a strike. How are you hitting him?
Just stab him through the chest.
Stab him through the chesticle. That is not... Oh, no, that is a critical. You critically shove him
Awesome. And
straight
then
into
does
his
this
rib cage.
add my extra damage for the stealth. and whatnot? How do you do
I
on this?
don't think so, but go ahead and roll your damage, and I'll roll an additional 2d6 if it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Flaming, deadly d8, 2d6 piercing. It did not.
Damn, way to go, Tommy.
So you
And
do,
you're-
and then
Oof.
just do that for you. Damn.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. You have
Well-
2 actions left.
Maddie, I think it already double damaged before you. Isn't that what this thing says in here where it says two
Oh, it
times
did. It did. You're
2d6 plus
right.
3 plus-
All right. Whatever. Anyways, you have 2 actions left, Worf. I guess.
Is one still pinning? Where am I?
No, he's
oh,
not.
shit.
Worf is, Marak is no longer grabbed. So you watched as
Okay.
it picked up and held Marak in its mouth, and Marak punched its mouth so hard that it was able to drop onto the ground gracefully and cast his spell.
All right, then I'm gonna stab at the one that I already stabbed at.
Holy shit balls.
Fuck yeah. Natural 20, y'all.
All right, and
Go ahead
damn.
and times that by 2 again if you want, Patty.
Roll 2d6. You got 1 action left, bud.
Alright, gonna just follow this fucking thing and stab him one more time. I'm
Yeah.
also just growling the same exact way as I do this.
Fortunately, even with your advantage, you go in for one more stab and it's just trying to get away from your blade now. It is fearing you as it is just, it makes that horrible dog noise nobody ever likes to hear when like you step on its tail.
Now I feel bad. Thanks, Maddie.
You're welcome. Dan, you are up, baby.
We'll stand up, grab my big old fat axe, and I'm gonna slap this dog real hard.
The one in front of you?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's got the big guy. I believe in him.
Oh yeah, I mean, that big dog is hurt. Ooh, you do hit. And you do just crush. I mean, you're still laying down, but you take your axe and you just, or was it your axe? Yeah.
Action to stand up, action to grab, action to swing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Action to grab, action. Okay. Nope. Thank you for being honest and forthright with me. And yeah, so you stand up, grab your axe, and you just pummel him right down in his jaw, and you just hear that horrible sound again as you smash into his face. Steve, you are up. You are currently lying on the ground.
Stand up.
Okay.
And then gonna do the old, if I can get it over here, tiger. Gonna click it here and then drag it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Tiger stance.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna
One
do
action left.
flurry of blows.
Nice. Yeah, first roll.
And I hit him with the old 1, 2. Oh, and then add 1 to that. Sorry, I didn't add 1 for the bless.
Okay, yeah.
22.
You hit him with your first strike. Very nice.
Man.
Oof.
And then he's got to do a save against stun.
Okay, and that was a what again?
Fortitude.
Fortitude. Thank you. Does a 28 beat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Balls.
All right, and then the second hit of my flurry of blows. So it should be 18.
Okay.
Close.
It does not quite enough. You go in for that second swipe with your fury of blows and he just can't quite connect as it's trying to savor that last little bit of health it has left in itself. The next warg is
Sorry, I
gonna.
forgot to target it.
That's fine. The next warg runs up to Worf here, and he goes in to bite at you. Or sorry, not Worf, at Steve. Goes in to bite at Steve.
Did you? You did apply the damage that I did, even though I forgot to target it, right?
Yes, I did. Yep.
Okay.
So it literally has so little damage left. Like this, the giant dog, I can tell you, is just reeling in pain as it's 13 with your armor, which is fine. It's gonna try to do it another bite at you just to really chomp at your bit, hoping it can make it. Fucking hell. Of course. Oh, come on. All right. And it really gets like right at your neck as it chomps down, and you can feel as you're just gushing blood out of your neck. The next warg runs up to this side and goes in to bite at Dan again and tries to chomp at his bits. Does a 16? No, you said you had an 18, so it's gonna just go again and try to reach. It's realizing like it's such tight, close quarters, can't quite make it, so it gives up for until its next turn. The last ward runs up and tries to pounce onto you, Worf. You're not small, right? Dwarves are still medium? Mm-hmm. Okay. Warp, does a 27 hit you? I believe it. Yes, it does. Okay. It doesn't crit, but it goes to chomp at your arm, dealing just a measly 7 damage as it's kind of trying to hold on, and then it tries to sink its teeth even lower while it's still on your arm. and does bite down a little more on your arm, dealing even more damage to you as you feel your flesh just rip and tear into your muscle. The top of the next round. The top of the next round is the big direwolf's turn.
Did we get to see, Maddie, the direwolves in the initiative counter, or no?
It should be in the initiative counter. It's the top. Oh, is it not visible? Oh, it's not visible.
No, I can't see it.
Okay. Oh, can you see the dogs on the?
I can see the I can. Oh, okay. It looks like I can see them now.
Yeah,
Where's the initiative counter?
In the combat encounter page.
Yeah.
Encounter tracker. So the dire warg is going to, once again.
Oh. I didn't even know that was there.
It's gonna strike at you again, Marok.
That I think crits. Give me a second here. 31. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that crits.
So it
does,
just chomps at you. Fucking hell. Wow. It just chomps at you. And once again, you feel yourself getting lifted up. The first and only form of flight you've ever felt in your life. Well, the second time you've ever felt in your life. As it just lifts you up, grabs you, and attempts to swallow you whole.
Nice. Yes.
I feel like that's not the usual reaction when they try to swallow you whole.
There's a 24.
It's a cool ability. And it's against my reflex DC.
Yep, so it does swallow you whole with a plus 30. So 23, 24. You are now inside the belly of this beast. As it swallows you and consumes you, tasting like chicken inside of your mouth.
Now, hold on a second here. Technically, doesn't that bless move with me?
Yes, it does.
Can you move that bless with me?
I'm trying. Somewhere in here.
Was it one of the normal direwolves or the big boy?
It was the big boy.
The big boy.
The smaller ones can't. There we go.
Look at that, boys. Now you guys you're still blessed. Worf, you can go all the way.
You can't talk, Marok.
This way, and then here, and you're blessed.
You have no. I mean, you could technically. Marat can't explain that to you because all you hear is. But technically, you do see the aura of the blessing.
Yeah, I can't actually say anything, otherwise I lose all of my oxygen.
Correct.
And start to suffocate.
Here's the funny part: the persistent damage to the direwolf kills it, and you are stuck in its belly. It is your turn, though.
Okay, so I need to get out.
You are slowed one.
How do I?
You are grabbed.
All creatures swallowed one. Okay, so I have 2 actions. How do I cut out? What do I have to get? It's rupture. Rupture 10. You have to do 10 damage, essentially.
Yes, exactly. But it is off guard to you.
Oh, the wolf is?
Yeah. Because you're inside of its stomach, so it can't, like, defend itself against your attacks. You can just slash away at it.
Alright. Well, then I'm gonna do 1 action to cast Gravity Weapon. I don't know if that worked. Perfect. I don't know if it's actually on my stuff now.
I got it.
Okay. Thank you. And then, perfect. And then I'm gonna take my shuriken, has a reload of 0, and just you probably won't let me hunt prey on this motherfucker.
Nah,
that doesn't make any sense. It's dead. So I'm just gonna attack the thing then with the shuriken. Okay, this is part of this, so let's go ahead and go to hit. Hunter's aim, nope, just attacking. Okay, I'm gonna use a hero point on that.
Okay, fair enough. I will. Well, actually, yeah, you would need to use a hero point technically. Okay, that's not a critical, but you do strike it.
Dope. And then I need to roll damage. Now this should do my extra damage here. What? Hold on. It should do an extra. It should do an extra 4 damage because of gravity weapon.
Oh, I don't know why it's not applying to your weapon, but that's okay. So
your first weapon strike, you gain a status bonus to damage to equal twice the number of weapon damage dice. So yeah, I do 4. So I've done 9 damage to it.
Okay, so that's fine. So 9 damage. Next turn.
I'll just attack again.
You're out of actions.
I have 1 action left.
No, you don't. You only had 2 actions.
I only have 2.
Thank you.
Damn it, you're right.
DM has spoken. You have done 9 damage. You need to do 1 more.
Yeah, how much air do I have left? Go ahead, keep going. I'll figure it out.
Okay. The warg in front of the warg in front of, not the warg, but the warg in front of Dan is going to strike at you 1 more time. It's going to run in and try to jump at your giblets below you. Why is
giblets alone?
It's luckily you're able to like only get a little bit of it. It's gonna once again strike at you another time, and does a 17 misses, I'm guessing, and then tries to 1 more time because it's all it's got. Critically fails. So moving on to the next person is Worf. Worf, you've got a dead giant beast in front of you, but you also have 2 wargs in front of you. Now, again, they are still off guard to you, so you still get that sweet bonus.
Shit.
You have a rapier in your hands, ready to dive deep.
Alright, I'm gonna assume that those guys will figure out the bird inside the belly.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna continue attacking.
All right, sounds.
I'll attack the one directly in front of me.
Oh yeah, you don't crit, but you do hit. Thank you, Peter. So
do I still get the d6s for the?
Yep, I will roll that for you.
Is that feat just active through combat?
It's not applying for me.
When I'm using it.
It's you'll get it consistently as long as you're sneak attacking. Oops. Oh no, I did do that right. But I will remember for you. you have 2 actions left. So you dive that rapier straight into it, and you can hear it just reeling from the damage.
Well, how about this one then?
You hit,
Hell
not
yeah.
critically, but yeah, you go in, stab it. Where are you hitting it this time? Just in the same spot?
Oh yeah, I'm just fucking aiming for the jugular.
Oh yeah. So you get it straight into the jugular, and once again, you just like the last stab into its throat.
That was my last attempt. Was
You-
16.
You do get it.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I won't roll the sneak attack damage because all it had was 1 hit point left. So you like stab it, and you're just with such precision that you're stabbing it in the same spot of its throat over and over again before it finally just and keels over and dies. The next person up, Dan.
What's your next thing? Because I'm going to do that for this.
Yes, let me apply that for you. You're next. I'm assuming you're wanting to do it to the one closest to you.
Yeah.
You're next. So give me an intimidation roll against the warg next to you. You get a +2 to it, so I'll just automatically add it for you once you make that roll.
Beautiful.
Surprisingly, you still made it. Luckily, with that +2.
Jesus Christ.
So you got an 18. So it is.
Plus 14 I have to that. I mean, plus 12 plus your 2.
Yeah. So no, that was perfect because it needed to beat a 16. So yeah, you definitely have him frightened.
Yeah.
Oops. But it is Dan's turn next. Dan, go ahead. You've got 2 wargs next to you, and you know your friend Marok, the bird, just got consumed by this beast that then just kills over and dies. But the bird's still inside of it.
Fine in there. I mean, if I chop into it with my axe, there's a chance I hit him too.
That is true.
Don't need to cleave him, but we'll power attack the guy in front of me.
Go ahead. Critical by 17 points. I mean, you just did, like, literally. How do you, like, where's that power attack landing? Like, are you just decapitating it, or what? Like, are you cleaving it in half horizontally?
We're baseball swinging into it, cleave it into the other one.
Cleave it.
Which we now make another attack on the other guy.
Yes, please. The other
That's
guy
a
is.
sweet bonus I never use.
You do hit. Oh my god.
You gotta take a D12 off of that.
Can you just do that again? I don't have a way. I don't want to take too much away from you.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, just redo it. We'll just pretend it didn't happen. There we go. Okay, so 15 points of damage as you crush into the other warg, and it kind of... Steve, you're up. Unfortunately, everything next to you is just dead. But you still have a war on all
Is this
sides.
flanking or?
Right there is flanking. So now this creature is off guard to you.
All right. Well,
There we go.
why can't I? Oh, do I need to? There we go. Why can't I target him? There we go.
Because you're not doing it right.
I'm gonna hit him with the old flurry of blows.
Do it, baby. Critical, baby. Oh, yeah, and he's frightened as well, too. Oh my gosh. Did you hit the critical button?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you... And like, literally just, like, you tear chunks of its flesh with your slashing claw. You have one more hit to make with that first action, or second action.
He's got to do a fortitude save.
Thank you. I am sorry.
DC 22.
He is... Yeah, he's gonna make it. Sorry.
Alright, so here's the follow-up attack. Oh, that's a critical miss. Did I drop my weapon?
No, but how did you strike him? With your fist?
Yeah, I was trying to like an uppercut claw.
Steve, you go for that uppercut and you put so much force into the uppercut that you actually accidentally lose footing and knock yourself prone.
Dang it.
Next
So if you
up.
did drop your weapon, would you be disarmed?
Dan, that the warg next to you, the one you're just striking, is going to actually try to chomp at your arms, to try to make you disarm you, but it can't disarm you. But does a 20 hit you?
Yes.
And you feel your skin get pierced with its teeth into your arm, taking 7 points of damage. As it's still clung to your arm, it's going to try to bite down again. Wait, sorry, I want to... Shit, man, I forgot about fucking Avenging Bite. Oh well. But it's going to just chomp down on you again. Whole action I never took. And because it really has nothing better to do about it, it's just going to try again and do so terrible that it doesn't even fucking matter.
I should have used my hero point. I forgot I had it.
Yeah, this is the last. I mean, literally, this is the end here. So if you've got hero points, use them. At that point, it really didn't like you, Steve, for doing that. So it's going to go ahead and strike you because it's currently too scared at Worf. So does a 20 hit you?
Since I'm prone, it does.
Oh. So it goes in and starts chomping at your leg while you're down, dealing 10 points of damage to you. As it's got your leg in its maw, it's going to go ahead and try to bite down some more, really do as much as it can. Unfortunately, dealing some more damage to you as you feel your skin being pierced even further. While it's got you, just to add insult to injury, it's going to try one more time to really knock it. God damn. And yeah, that's it. Maroc. You got
for me.
Yep, you're yeah, so you are no longer slowed one.
I haven't broken. Oh, I haven't broken out yet.
Slowed is only on the first turn, I thought, right? Or no, does that
I think
stay?
it's when I'm swallowed.
Is
When
it
as long as I
stay?
am swallowed.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
And then what was the other thing I was gonna say? You also got to give me damage because I was I have to take your swallowed damage every time I'm at the end of each round that I'm inside the creature.
That you do. And what's the swallow damage? It's 1d6 plus 4. And yeah. Yep. That's the end of his turn, the warg's turn.
No, at the end of my turn.
Oh.
So that like. That
Okay,
was
so
for the last.
that was for the last round. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you for keeping me on top of it.
So first action, I'm gonna shuriken again because I got the returning shuriken.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and see if hopefully I can motherfucking break out of this one. Alright. Oh shoot, I should have targeted it. That was
Oh,
stupid.
well,
Like,
it's
target
fine. You definitely hit, so as long as you roll, well, anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way I can't do damage on this.
All right.
motherfucker.
Whew. You are no longer slowed or grabbed or any of that. You.
Am I? I'm not prone either, am I?
No.
Or off guard? Or am I prone? What do you want me to do?
I feel like because you're clawing your way out. No, it's a large enough beast that you kind of just rip through it. In fact, the three of you just see as Maroc just kind of bursts out of the belly of the beast, and wow. No, you're not prone. But you have 2 actions left.
Hey, beautiful. I'm gonna hunt prey on this motherfucker. Well, who's been the one? Well, actually, I don't know.
You do not
can
know.
I tell who looks the most bloody?
You can. I will give you that, and it's definitely this one because it's literally bleeding.
Hey, hunt prey on that motherfucker. Action 2. Action 3, I am doing whatever the one that lets me do 2 weapon strikes. I think it's Hunter's Aim. But either way. So I'm doing first this one.
You hit? Just barely,
This
but you
one-
hit.
This one, I'll see if it does it right, Maddie. No, -4.
Doesn't matter, it killed it. Oh, -4?
Yeah, -4.
Okay, well.
So that should only be 7 damage.
Yep.
And then I get a second one here, or third one, I should say. And let's see if this one hits. Oh, wait. Why is this? It should not be targeted. Okay, got it. Okay, and then. Wee! Come on! Yes, motherfuckers! Again, just -4 on this. 5 damage.
Well, yeah, either way, it's dead. You just had to do 3. There you go. You got another warg down. Worf, you are currently staring at 3 dead monsters.
Are there any living monsters?
You have 1 monster over here that Dan is currently trying to spank with an axe.
Out of my.
Oh yeah, then I'm gonna go right here.
Bam! You just jump, leap over the giant dead beast, land right in front of the monster.
I'm gonna actually jump off the giant one.
Yeah?
And try landing my rapier right into this last one.
Okay. You come down right onto its jugular as you strike true, critically succeeding. So your rapier is going to go straight into its fucking mouth, or straight into its fucking throat, and just destroy it, and quite literally, like, as it lays dead, not dying, but just dead.
All right, I'm gonna look at Dan and I'm gonna say it's your turn. And I'm gonna lay down and go to sleep.
And sure enough, everything calms back down.
I guess
you guys-
during my watch time, can I carve up the dogs and grill some breakfast with them?
Oh, by all means. I mean, they are wargs, but yeah, it's still, canine meat at the end of the day. So yes, of course. But that's actually where we are going to end today's session. You guys finally defeated the wargs that attacked or ambushed your party in the middle of the night. You dust yourselves off. You fall back asleep, except for whoever's up next. No longer fatigued, as
Can we rest for the night then?
yep, you guys can go ahead and rest for the night. I don't know why it's okay. There we go. I'm just trying to take your conditions off.
Oh, the encounter's still active.
Thank you. See, this is why I need you, Dan. Or Ryan or Steve. Ryan or Steve, and I literally called him a name that's
I
not.
just noticed this during this last combat, but how many hours have I spent in Tiger Stance? And I've just now noticed that the icon for Tiger Stance is a roaring lion.
That is a good point. I love it. All right, I'm going to end the stream because there's really nothing else for us to add at this point. You guys have rested for the night. It is now the next morning when Dan is serving you guys breakfast before you start heading on the road again. At this point, actually, I'm not going to end the stream because right now, so for your guys' role-playing, which was incredible. I loved it. Everything you guys did to try and investigate and get everything figured out. I am going to award you all 200 experience points for that. That was a very, very well played out mismatch of getting everybody dealt with. This encounter, while I did have a little bit more planned, considering it was so late, I didn't want to get really too deep into it. So it was supposed to be a moderate to severe. I ended up making it a low to moderate encounter for you, but I still liked it. 80 experience points for that. So 280 experience points for the day. You guys did a really good job. Thank you.